Hey guys, this is my brother Adam, and he is the new executive director at Kaleb House,
hmm
and he's super cool. And I wanted to have a conversation with you, but because you have been contributing to this organization since before you have been the executive director, and B, so that the people here get an opportunity to know you, and C, because I feel like there's some value that you can add just to the overall conversation that we have here at Bear
hmm
Independent. So you'll probably be seeing a little bit more of Adam. That's part of your role
Right.
at KH, but it's definitely not the definitive part of your role.
hmm
So um, I'll tell a quick story, and then I have a series of questions I'm going to grill you with because we all want to see you sweat on
I'm
camera.
so concerned about that. I've not
Yeah,
been
you
able to
should be.
read it all the
That
way.
chicken
So,
scratch over
yeah.
there. Um, so we ran an operation that was very short notice, as they typically are, which I think you're
Yeah.
starting on.
Right.
I think you knew it. There's a difference between knowing it and knowing
And
it
living it. Yeah.
and living it, right? And so we get a phone call that a young girl had been taken, school age, and I'll just give the broad brushstrokes here. And mom needs help because the girl's been taken. So we were able to get a hold of the security camera footage and get a description on the vehicle. And and everybody springs into action.
hmm
This had happened in the afternoon at the end of school. And I told my wife, I said, hey, I got to go do this thing. Typical question. Love you. When are you going to be home? I'll be home when it's over.
Right.
I don't know when it's going to be over.
hmm
She's like, okay, cool. Pray real quick, bounce out the door. And I went to one of our other facilities where you had given a class about a year before on some cool guy stuff. And there was a thing that I needed to do that I could not remember how to do it. And I'm like, ah.
hmm
And then I remembered, I was like, oh, you gave us a binder. That binder has notes in it. And so I
hmm
went over to a bookshelf, pulled the binder, flipped through through the binder, found the thing that I needed to do, step by step instructions, did that thing. And it contributed to the recovery of this girl who we were able to locate through networking, good law enforcement
hmm
partners, and the whole nine, 4 states away. And we had that girl home in 24 hours. And she drew a picture of me. And it's that picture right there on the wall.
hmm
And I keep it there
hmm
because it's actually not that's not the way I see myself,
Right.
but that's the way she sees me. And it helps me remember the way that she sees me and the impact that we have
hmm
and what most people, I think they conceptually understand it, but they haven't internalized it yet. I am not the driving force of Caleb House. I'm the founder.
hmm
I'm the president of the board, but there are myriad people that are involved whose faces you will never see,
Right.
who do things that we can't talk about, won't talk about, that are contributing to the success of missions like this. And it was just really impactful to be able to get that girl home 24 hours later from 4 states away,
hmm
to have a conclusion to that case that fast, which was awesome because when we started this thing, we were not good at it. And there's tons of mercy, unrecognized mercy, in the Father allowing us to make mistakes that are big enough to learn from, but
hmm
not big enough to be devastating.
Right.
And you, again, have been contributing to this overall mission since before you've been here full time doing this. And so we have a mutual acquaintance when we were looking for an executive director,
hmm
brought your name up, and I was like, yeah, let's have that combo. Let's see if we can make that happen. And it's not just because of that, it's because of your background,
hmm
who you are, what your convictions are, your skill sets. I was like, I would love to talk to Adam, see if he would come on board. We did, and now here you are. So I know a bit about your background, but they don't. So
Yeah.
who are you? What have you done? Where'd you come from?
Yeah. First off, hate this question. Hate talking about myself. So I'll take my pill and get this one out of the way. Like you said, my name's Adam White. And Adam, like the guy in the Bible who messed it up for everybody, right? I'm like, okay, that's leading into
Thanks,
this.
bro.
Yeah, all on me. I'll take that one. I've had about coming up on 2 decades of different types of leadership experience: public sector, private sector, military, security stuff. Um, was in the military for about 10 years. Got hurt, an old IED injury caught up with me because I was prideful, didn't take care of it, and it nipped me. In a very uncool story. A few surgeries later, I'm like, hey, do you want to keep doing this military thing? I said, if I can't do cool guy stuff, no. So I got shown the door.
Yep.
Moved back to Oklahoma, started working for some local governments doing economic development, which was kind of a skill set that I had worked in through there. Pretended to be a city manager for about 6 months. Hop between a few towns, so Eufaula, McAllister, great communities. I love these towns. From there, I moved into some social services. So I work for an organization called Work Ready Oklahoma, which is they are doing God's hands and feet in
Yep.
Oklahoma, helping people get out of poverty. Love that team. They're doing incredible work. So help people kind of what we call self-sustaining. It's like, okay, someone's in this bad spot. How do we get them where they can function on their own without state support? You can become independent, and people love it. I mean,
Yep.
placed over 1,000 people through that program.
That's
It's
awesome.
it's incredible. So shout out to them. From there, you know, in that time frame, working with you guys a little bit, and wound up here. So that's where
Yeah.
I'm at.
So I was going to ask you, of all the places that you could be
Yeah.
with your skill sets and experience, why are you here? Why are you at Kaleb House?
Yeah. So the big part is the mission that's associated with Kaleb House.
Mm-hmm.
If we're not doing it, nobody's doing it.
Yeah.
That's the part of it. I can't think of a greater skill set. So I could go, okay, let me go work for some 3-letter agency. Let me go do some stuff overseas. Those opportunities pop up in life. Um, but at the end of the day, what would I look back and say? Okay, I helped advance U.S. interests in Eastern Europe, right? It's like, okay, I don't know how much impact that's going to have. As opposed to we're dealing with soul work here. So
Yep.
getting people out. I mean, when we were talking about this opportunity, I was talking to the board. I mean, this is the truth. If something happened to one of my children and they were taken, what type of person would I want helping them out? And the work that you guys are doing, I want to contribute to that. So that's the big part of it. Not to get really emotional up front,
Yeah.
but that's a part of it. It's restoration, and I think we have a ton of folks doing incredible work on the counter trafficking side. I think we have a unique slice of the pie on what we're focused on,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't hear a lot on the restoration side, and I wanted to be a part of that. And the whole skill set of my life leading up to this, I kept thinking, man, I've got such a weird collaboration of skills. None of this makes sense until this final
Yep.
veil got lifted above my. I was like, oh crap, that's why I needed to know how to be with people. Project management, working with governments, working on the social sector side and development social services. It's like, okay, it makes sense. That was leading up to this point, and that was my conversation with my wife. Is the first time it was brought up to me, I said, I don't know.
Yep.
And then it was brought up again, and I thought, we prayed about it, fasted about it. My wife and I were like, okay, this is probably what this is for. So
I remember that conversation, and it's one of the things that, amongst many, that I respect about you. You said, "Hey, I'm going to take some time and pray on this before I give you any answer." And I was like, "Yeah, please do." And we were discussing at a recent board meeting, why do people do what they do, right? And the acronym MICE: money, ideology, coercion, or ego. It's like, well, nobody here is getting paid big bucks.
Right.
So it ain't
Right.
money, right? And there's a lot of volunteer staff, and that, hell, there's people that are still active that will take leave to leave what they're doing and on their
Right.
own dime come here and assist us with what we do,
Yep.
right? So it's not the money. It can't be coercion. We can't coerce people into doing. We shouldn't coerce people.
Yeah, you probably could.
We could.
Thank you for not. Yeah.
But I don't
Yeah.
think it's not ethical to
Yeah.
coerce people to do what we do. And there's a fair amount of risk that is adopted in this. There's a fair amount of cost that's adopted in this. So it's not coercion, and it can't be ego, because if it's ego, that is not going to contribute to the success of these operations. And so when you work with real true professionals, everybody sort of subordinates their ego at the door. It's like, what's the mission? What are we trying to get done? And then if there's a piece of it where you're the SME, You take that and run with it. If
Right.
there's a piece of it where I am, I'll take that piece and run with it. Dudley, you handle your part, your part, your part.
Mhm.
And everybody in a collaborative effort handles their part without ego.
Mhm.
So I'm going to defer to your judgment on this thing that you know,
Right.
right? And vice versa. And so that leaves ideology. And that's why people are at Kaleb House. That's why people are at Grindstone. Hell, that's why
Mhm.
people are at Refuge.
Yeah.
It's ideologies that knowing that what we do makes a difference, knowing that what we do has a kingdom impact.
Mhm.
And it's, again, it's part of why that picture is up there on the wall, because I forget that sometimes.
Mhm.
I'm the founder.
Right.
I'm the visionary, right? And sometimes it's like more insurance paperwork.
Right.
Which window should I throw this out of?
Right.
Do I throw it or myself out the
Yeah.
window? You know, and it's like it actually matters. There's a little sign hanging up behind Dudley right there that I printed out as a reminder to myself. It says, "Do what you can with what you have. Nothing more is needed."
Yeah.
And that, right? So it's very much so ideology, and there's a high amount of ideological alignment between you and us,
Mhm.
which is, you can hire for skill set, and a lot of people do. They hire for skill set, but where they mess up is they don't hire for people fit,
Mhm.
because most skills can be trained,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
And technically, all skills can be trained. It's just
Mhm.
how much of an on ramp do we have or to get up to speed with these skills. Um, but I can teach skills to people, or I can find somebody who can teach skills to people.
Mhm.
It's much harder to teach somebody to be in ideological alignment with you without engaging in coercion,
Right.
without feeding their ego,
Right.
without paying them to agree with you,
Mhm.
right? So it's one of the myriad reasons that I'm thankful that you're here.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I there's not a better candidate for the position. I think that's important for the viewers and the supporters to know as well. We looked at several people, and there's not a better fit than you. Um, which leads me to my next question. Now that you're here,
Right.
what is it like working for an entrepreneur with ADHD inside of a nonprofit?
Yeah.
And be honest, you're not
Yeah.
going to offend me.
No, so a big part of it, it's exciting. So it's a new challenge. I had a friend at a previous job at Work Ready. He used to say, "I don't need an alarm clock because I wake up excited about the gig."
Yep.
Now, some of that waking up is, "Oh, the world's on fire. Let me go fix something." But a
Mhm.
lot of it really is, "Hey, I'm getting ready to do something that is meaningful." It's not, "Ah, let me get up and get working." The tempo, I think, is the benefit. A lot in the nonprofit world. So we're working through this, the balance between, okay, we got to get compliance, all this, check the boxes, all that stuff. But I think that can become a burden. So I think there's a good balance here between, no matter what, we're going to make this thing happen. We're going to
Mhm.
get this thing done. Um, it's been it's been enjoyable, actually. So
We've yet to codify Caleb House's core values. We've
yeah.
done that for Refuge and Grindstone, and we are in the developmental process of KH's core values.
Hmm.
But one of Refuge's core values is make it happen.
Yeah.
Whatever we got to do, make it happen. Legally, morally, ethically,
Hmm.
make it happen. And when I first started, there's a coaching group. It's actually Arte. It's the sign that's behind you there.
Yeah.
It's run by Andy Frisella and Ed Milet. And when I first started with them, 2 3 years ago, maybe 3 years now, man, they were on this kick about core values, and I'm like, yeah, check, got it,
Right.
whatever.
Right.
And then I had the opportunity to tour the First Form facility out in Fenton, Missouri,
Hmm.
outside of St. Louis, which, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, is incredibly impressive. They got 600,000 square foot under roof,
Hmm.
and everybody there is on fire.
Right.
You walk through the door, and everybody's switched on. Doesn't matter what department they're in, and there's not a place in any space in any one of those buildings you can look at a wall and their core values are on the wall.
Hmm.
And so the gentleman Aaron who was giving us the tour, um, I asked him about that, and he said it's real simple. We praise and we correct based upon core values.
Hmm.
Everything is core values. And he said, let me tell you a story. He said Mr. Frisella was walking down the hallway one day with his security detail, and he was talking about his cars and how he'd stopped to get fuel, and there was somebody, I may be the moral of the story is the same. I may be butchering the details.
Right.
But there was somebody at the gas pump that was giving him a hard time for having, one of these expensive cars. And he was like,
Mm-hmm.
look, buddy, I earned this, right? Like
Mm-hmm. Right.
26 years in business, I
Yeah.
earned this, and screw your piece of crap car. I mean, screw you for your opinion and blah, blah, blah. And they were all having a laugh. And there was a guy coming out of the restroom, just washed his hands, drying his hands, which even the restrooms there are immaculate because and there's no janitor. 600,000 square foot.
Mm-hmm.
There's not one janitor on staff because everybody keeps their stuff squared away.
Mm-hmm.
This guy comes out of the restroom and he overhears this conversation. He says, Mr. Frisella, can I talk to you for a minute? He said, yeah, what's up? He says, our first core value here is be humble, right? And he's like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't sound like you're being very humble right now. Yeah, you work for that car. Yeah, you've built all this, but lots of people have helped you build this too. And you have no idea what that guy was going through. Like, there's probably a better way that you could have handled that.
Right.
And Andy was like, you know what? You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. It's a guy that owns a company,
Yeah.
self-made multi-billionaire,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it was the guy who came into the restroom. It's his second day on the job. I was like, ooh, there might be something to these core values because it helps shape conduct inside of the organization. And to get back to make it happen,
Yeah.
that's, we've had myriad board meetings. So at the upper echelons of leadership, trying to rightly divide what does it look like between stewardship and action,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're pretty bad at saying no when there's somebody in need, whatever it might look like, whether it's Grindstone or Kaleb House or whatever. And one of the things that's been really cool is the partnership development that we've done, where there are other organizations that do cater to, say, adult males,
Right.
adult females, whatever
Right.
it might be, where we're still going to have field teams do what field teams do
Right.
to problem solve this, but it may not be a Kaleb House survivor. It may not be a Kaleb House aftercare mission. We're going to go do what we do,
Yeah.
interdict these problems, and then do a handoff to a partnership organization that deals with adult males or adult females or whatever. But from a restoration side for juvenile human trafficking, when I first got into this, it disgusted me to learn A, how much we spend,
Mm-hmm.
and B, how few resources are actually generated from what we spend.
Mm-hmm.
The DHS budget per year is $357,000 per child per year. Kaleb House restores 20 kids for less than that same amount of money.
Yeah.
So imagine this: private organization, 20x effective.
Yeah.
One federal agency with purview over human trafficking. And part of it, you brought up regulatory. Part of the mess there is they're not the only ones that have regulatory oversight.
Right.
And oftentimes the regulations compete with one another.
Right.
And don't tell anyone, average tenure in counter trafficking at DHS is 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no SMEs, there's no subject matter expert.
Right.
So you got 5,000 pages of regulation and nobody that knows what the 5,000 pages say.
Right.
But if we infract one line on one page, we can't do what we do anymore. So that's been a huge challenge for me, for us. And it's one of the things that I'm thankful that a guy like you is here. Your legal team is very good.
There's a lot of those pages that we go through. But that even goes to this. Kind of 2 points on that. One, everything that we deal with is messy.
Yep.
There's not a single, and I've been here about a month now. I've not come up with all the easy ones are solved fast. If it comes to Kaleb House, there's some messiness involved. I mean, we have a phenomenal team that we're working with, the advocacy team, the support, all that stuff. It's a beautiful team.
Yep.
I think another portion of what makes the team work so well together, though, and I'm not trying to be silly or facetious, I think there's some blessing involved in it. Things that should not happen.
I agree.
By natural means. It's like, hey, we had this request, we had this idea, and it's just provided.
Yep.
At points that stress me out because I like to have a clean plan, and here's what we're going to do, and here's all the logistics, here's all the finance, here's all the layout, and oh wait, 15 minutes before a decision's made, it's provided. So Father's time's not my time. He doesn't work on my stresses like this would have been great 2 weeks ago, but it shows up when it needs to.
Yep.
So I do think there's some blessing on what we're doing right here.
Which,
I mean, in terms of support we can provide per cost, it's phenomenal. It
yeah,
is phenomenal. So
we're,
I think that's a part of that entrepreneurial mindset is how much can we get done with the widow's mites that are getting brought up. We can make some phenomenal stuff happen. And if I can give a shout out to Alyssa and what her crew does,
yep.
she well pays for herself. I'll put it like that. From what she can make a lot happen with a little bit.
100%.
Yeah.
Alyssa and her crew are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're, she's, I think, the one other person inside the organization that has appeared on camera. No,
Right.
that's not correct. Sarah has also appeared on camera.
Mm-hmm.
There's now 3 of y'all amongst myriads that have appeared on camera.
Right.
And that's
Intentional. Right.
It's a calculated risk that we take, similar to the calculated risk I take every day appearing on camera. But the construction team, and that's the other thing. There are sub teams inside of this organization.
Mm-hmm.
The construction team has done a phenomenal job, not just building stuff, but stewarding all those resources and in-kind donations and donor relations and volunteer organization. See, when the Father came to me with this conviction, what he told me, we were at another facility, Grindstone was,
Mm-hmm.
before Kaleb House existed. And I was walking out the front door. It was the second to last day on property. It had just been miracle after miracle, literally miracle after miracle. The story that I tell that makes it the most concise is there was an AC compressor on the side of a building that's older than you or I.
Mm-hmm.
And we're trying to troubleshoot this thing. Why doesn't the air conditioning work in this building? Which I know nothing. I just see 3 guys standing around scratching their heads, and I'm like, "What's up? What do we got going on?" Project management.
Mm-hmm.
That body language is universal.
Yeah,
doesn't matter where you are. And so I walk over, and they're like, "It's got a blown capacitor."
Yeah.
Okay, and this capacitor is older than everybody on property.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably going to have to replace the whole unit. And I'm like, "We'll figure it out." And we're in not a populated area.
Yeah.
And there's a little county road there, and there's a little red Nissan B2000 pickup truck rolling down the road. That rolls past the driveway, stops, and backs up. And now we're all like, security threat.
Right.
What's going on here?
Right.
Pulls into the driveway and just putters up to where we're at. And we're all like, hands on hips, what's happening?
Yeah.
This little old man gets out and he goes, "What are you boys up to?" I said, "Well, we got a busted air conditioner here and we're trying to figure it out." And he goes, "Well, you know what the problem is? So we think it's this capacitor."
Yeah.
And whole paper fuse copper end. And he goes, "Well, hold on." And he walks to the back of the truck. He's got a cap on the back, opens up the cap, rummages around for a minute. And he goes, "One of these?" We're like, looking at the numbers. Yeah. Goes, well, here you boys go.
Yeah.
Hops in his, for all I know, this was Jesus in a P2000 Nissan. Right? And we're like, what? Stick that thing in, it fires up, save $10,000.
I mean, I get goosebumps from stuff like that. Again, been here 4 weeks.
Yep.
I've had 3 or 4 times already where I've gotten goosebumps like, oh, this was supposed to happen at this time. There's no way this is planned, makes sense in any normal means, except, okay, we're getting some blessing on this. There's some divine intervention on what's going on right now. And he knows what's going to happen. I don't, and it's provided. So
yeah, there's proverbs for that.
Yeah.
So we're in this building. I'm walking out. It's the second to last day. It's a beautiful day, cool, crisp morning, and I'm looking up, blue sky, little puffy clouds, and I'm just talking to the Father. And I'm like, this is so cool. Like, thank you. This is awesome. Everything that you've been doing here, and we've got dozens of volunteers out here, just crawling across the property. It's just like see problem, fix problem, and it was beautiful. It was awesome. And I'm praising him. It's so cool what you're doing here. And he's like responding back like a hype man. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, this is so important. He's like, yeah. And I was like, there needs to be more of these. And he's like, yeah. And you're gonna build them.
Yeah.
And I literally stopped walking and I looked up and I was like, what? He goes, yeah, you're gonna build them.
Yeah.
what the fuck are you talking about?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know
Anything.
anything about this. And there's this, I've heard him speak to me on a few rare occasions, and two of them have included the phrase, "Did I stutter?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I told you you're going to build them. And I'm like, okay, I don't know anything about this.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, you build the buildings, I'll handle the rest.
Right.
I'm like, okay. So in my brain, this is property development.
Mm-hmm.
We get a piece of land, we get a bulldozer,
Right.
we build roads, we build houses. And the mercy in, hey kid, I will meet you where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he had told me up front all the scope of what we'd actually be doing, because
You'd pull the Jonah. And be
yeah.
like, I'm going this way. Yeah.
You're gonna need a gigantic fish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Preferably one that flies because
Yeah.
we're nowhere near the ocean. But he does. He meets you where you're at, and then reveals a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, because just the intricacies involved in just build a building.
Yeah.
I mean, per whose regulatory statute, build a
Yeah.
building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a little clue for everybody who's watching. In the construction industry, closets count as livable space.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah.
Nobody told the government that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go to the builder and you spec out a house, and the statute says you have to have X amount of square feet per child,
Mm-hmm.
livable space, you build it. And everything's fine with your plans approved,
Mm-hmm.
until the inspector says, what are you going to put babies in closets? No.
Mm-hmm.
Well, closets aren't livable space. According to whom? According to this particular regulatory body, no, they don't count as livable space, even though in North America, when you build a home, closets are counted as livable space.
Yeah.
And so the statute reads livable space. By whose standard? And so little intricacies like that, where you're like, yeah, God, you build the buildings, I'll handle the rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, TJ, that was on page 3,572.
Yeah, didn't you
on the
know?
manual.
Yeah, our AI
So-
chatbot crawled the 5,000 page
Pages.
thing
Yeah.
and found this infraction for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's great. And so now what do? You make it happen. Fix the problem on the back end.
Yeah.
Problem solved. It now the livable space adheres to what the regulatory statute says it needs to be,
Mm-hmm.
based upon the interpretation of the government, not the home residential construction industry in North
Right.
America. Okay, cool. So,
well, even on that, for the project that I'll call it the Kaleb House project right now, it is not just property development. It is program development, and it hits everything from policies to training to team members to recruitment. And in terms of setting this up in multiple locations, I've talked with every functional team that we have in Kaleb House. Okay, this is round one.
mm-hmm.
We're going to get it right. We're going to do it right, so that in the future, when this thing's successful, we can say, because again, the intent is we're the best, we're world class. I want this to be world class. So we can say, here's the plans, copy paste in another location. Here's how we did it. We don't want people to have to relearn lessons like closet space.
Yep.
Right. If you're doing ministry, here's kind of an easy button, whether it's us, another group taking it. Here's how you can make this thing work and make it successful. So they don't have to learn the lessons we've learned.
100%. What a lot of people may not realize is Kaleb House, in the restoration facility, Kaleb House,
Mm-hmm.
is not one of one. It's one of many that we're building.
Right.
It's one of few that exist nationally. But my goal, the vision has always been, this is the first one. When we finished the first one, we were doing a significant AAR,
Right.
after action report, for lessons learned, to capture all of that institutional knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
codify it, and then come up with SOPs and plans for Kaleb House 2.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do the same thing after 2 and 3 and 9 and 27. And I intend to continue doing this until we don't have to do it anymore.
Right.
And I think one of the first face-to-faces you and I had in your new role we discussed the concept of this is bigger than any one of us.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to outlive me. It needs to outlive you.
Right.
There's others that are coming behind us that have similar conviction and similar or better skill sets that are going to inherit the work that we've done on behalf of the kingdom right now.
Yeah.
And we need those people as best equipped as possible. And so there's been tons of lessons learned in the construction of KH1,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't end with KH1.
Right.
And part of that institutional knowledge, I get people that reach out to me all the time and they're like, hey, we want to build one of these things too. Can you tell me what are you guys doing that's working? What have you done that doesn't work? And the answer to that is yes, asterisk. I don't know who the hell you are.
Right.
So I got to get
Right.
to know you first
Mm-hmm.
before before I start.
Fill everything out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the layout that we like to use.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, people who are not good people don't need to know the layout that we use.
Right.
And so forth and so on. So all those little technical details are very valuable to good people doing good work.
Mm-hmm.
They're also very valuable to bad people doing bad work.
Yeah.
And so with everything that we do with KH, I think sometimes externally there's been the perception of like, hey, I filled out the background check. I'm ready to come help. And it's like, it takes time.
Yeah.
That we have to know who it is that we're working with, which is part of why when guys are like, I want to come, do hits with you guys. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Because even if you're the best guy on planet Earth, right? If you're whoever you are, pick some names that you guys know. Like if GBRS Group is like, yo, we want to hit buildings with you.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, they can hit buildings all
Yeah.
day. But how they hit buildings may be different than the way that we do it or our law enforcement partners do it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And one misstep, now we have problems.
Right.
And so even the best people on planet Earth, if we don't have context and dwell time with those people, that can lead to issues as well.
Yeah.
So it all takes time.
Yeah. Well, the vetting process, the security process, a part of it comes to just confidence. Like, how well do we know you? So, Latin lesson 1 for this morning. So, confidence, confide with faith.
Mm-hmm.
You define faith as belief, trust, or knowledge. How well do I know you? With knowledge, can I say, I know what you're going to do?
Mm-hmm.
It's slow because we have to get it right.
Mm-hmm.
It's slow because vetting takes a minute to do it well. It's slow. I mean, patience, fruit of the spirit. And I hate being patient. I know I need to be patient, but to do things right, it's like, okay, we're going to do this well. So yeah, just on the security side and just knowing what we're getting into. Anytime you throw a new variable in there,
Yep.
could throw something off. And it could be a completely innocent, well-intentioned, good-hearted mistake, but the mistake could cost a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of resources.
I've watched the best operators on planet Earth, and I say that non-ironically,
Mm-hmm.
running through kill houses, literally running through kill houses. And I'm like, boy, am I proud to be an American right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad they're on our team and they're not
Yep.
mad at me.
Yeah.
And you change one variable, one, because they rehearse not till they get it right, but until they can't get it wrong,
Mm-hmm.
right? To rep after rep after rep after rep, and you change one thing, and you can watch the best shooters on planet Earth pause for a minute because it's not the way that it was last time, right? Well, it's never the way that it was last time.
Right.
It's never the walls and the roof will probably stay the same,
Mhm.
but who is where doing what inside of this, everything, that little bit of a variable is a big deal to the best people on planet Earth at this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I agree with what you're saying there. When you introduce variables into things, complexity is the enemy of execution.
Yeah.
And we are not, nor will we ever be in a position where we can afford piss poor execution.
Yeah.
Because we are putting people's lives and livelihoods and long-term well-being at stake if we
Yeah.
get it wrong. So the gravitas is very real.
Yeah.
And I think that's not always something that conveys with what we do as well. The gravitas is very real, not just for the juvenile human trafficking survivors, but for the people that are performing work in the field. And the risk is not just, we're going to go hit this house at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
The risk becomes ongoing once you have somebody in your care.
Mm-hmm.
And cases, it's the rare case that's closed in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Some cases drag on for years.
Yeah.
And during that time, the risk profile continues to exist.
Yeah.
And it may actually peak after an extraction,
Right.
not during an extraction. So it seems like the most dangerous portion of this entire process is at extraction. Therefore, we wear helmets and armor. Bro, it's ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's something that people don't realize, which is why access and placement has to be very carefully um, managed with individuals coming and
Right.
going inside of the organization.
Well, I would even pull that farther on a point you made. I want to say amen on it because I think you touched on it, but I think it's worth sharing in a deeper way. Organizational risk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're here. TJ, board member, founder. Adam, director. All the teams that we have doing incredible things. Okay, there's some risk if something happens to Kaleb House. Okay, I need to go get another job. Staff's got to get other locations. But really, what we're trying to protect and all the risk and security, it's the people that we're pulling out, their dignity. And that's a portion of the types of stories that we tell.
Mm-hmm.
Is we're trying to protect their dignity.
Yep.
We don't want to be flaunting kids out in front of things like when we've discussed that a lot.
No Sarah McLachlan
Yeah,
commercial.
we're trying to pull that. But one of the pushes that we're trying to do is how do we share the stories of the very cool things that we're doing every week
Yep.
while still protecting their dignity, their honor, their uniqueness as a human being, and not just okay, well that's another check mark on our board. We got a person.
Yep.
Going back to this, their souls and their
Yep.
souls have been entrusted to us, and so we have to shepherd that in a way that is honorable, is well-meaning, is God glorifying, and everything that we're doing. So I think that's a portion of the risk that a lot of people don't realize. It's very sexy to talk about. Cool, we're throwing on NVGs and hitting houses and all that other stuff. But you're absolutely right. The risk is once we have now we're dealing with a soul.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've dealt with bad guy, coordinate with law enforcement, all that stuff. That process continues on the legal side. But the real risk is okay, this person's in my care.
Yep.
Let's do this well.
And
And I that's like you said for that when you would call like a safety brief or risk assessment. Not only does it continue, I mean, some cases, hey, we've stabilized someone in a week and they're good to go because they've got a family structure, all this other things.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's a few months, sometimes it's a few years, and it's dynamic. It changes.
Yep.
So, hey, great, when we got him, here's the situation we're dealing with, but then it's going to evolve to that's going to look different 6 months down the road, especially
Mm-hmm.
with minors involved, all this other stuff. They're people.
Yeah.
And like going back to what I said earlier, everything we do is messy. There's no clean solution. Hard to calibrate a human being.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well,
it's a living program.
That goes back to core values and mission statement.
Yeah.
Are we adhering to the mission? Are
Right.
we adhering to the core values? Can we accomplish this thing legally, morally, ethically?
Yeah.
Because they're, just like in medicine, there's no textbook patient.
Right.
There's lots of protocols. There's lots
Right.
of algorithms. There's no textbook patient. There's no textbook Kaleb House case because they're people.
Yeah.
And everybody's got different individual personalities. They've got different circumstances, different abilities. Everything's different. And we have made a commitment to care for these people.
Right.
And that commitment is for as long as it takes, however long that might be.
Mm-hmm.
There's a common misconception that, well, we got to get these kids back to their parents. No, we do not in many cases. Children don't run away from home for no reason.
Right.
So especially in runaway cases, it's not like everything's great at home, but I'm pissed off at mom and dad, so I'm gonna throw some stuff in a Jansport and go hit the streets.
Right.
They're taking the best of bad options when they do that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's, depending on which white papers you read, which data you look at, there's somewhere between a 50 and 2/3, 66 and a third percent, 2/3% chance. So 1 in 2, 1 in 3 chance that a child who has run away will be trafficked, especially if they are a repeat runaway. And so if you have a good home and you have good kids, whatever you do, don't let your kids run away.
Right.
Now, those that don't have a good home are running away for a reason, because mom's a dope fiend and dad's a sex offender.
Right.
And see, trafficking, a lot of people think of kids in cages, which happens.
Mm-hmm.
And that's called human smuggling, without even getting into the literal human puppy mills that exist. Because there's some dark places, some dark corners that this stuff goes. You brought up recently, you're like, SRA? And I was like, oh yeah, you'll become an expert on SRA.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and that was even just this week. I mean,
Yep.
I can share 2 stories, anonymize as much as we can for this one. Well, and here's just talking about the range of things that we dealt with. This is a week. This is not
Mhm.
what we've done over the course of a year. We've handled over 50 cases this year, which has been incredible. Um,
Thank you for sharing that,
yeah,
because I don't think the people that support KH realize how much that we do.
yeah,
And it's part of why I want to introduce you to them so we can have conversations like this. Over 50 cases this year.
50 cases this year, and none of them are the same. So we're developing. I mean, our advocate team, that team's great. We're building some good policy how we're going to walk through this. This week started with let's put it like this. Right after this interview, I'm gonna go be building a bunk bed up in another community. Right? Didn't think I was gonna be hopping in that. So it varies from I'm helping a family whose a family member was involved in the sexual exploitation of a child, multiple children in the home. And what they needed was, okay, some safe housing. We got that taken care of. Some emotional support. Again, at the advocacy team is phenomenal. I got to watch them work a little bit when we started moving with them a little bit yesterday. The things I would have never thought to have mentioned to someone in that spot, because the family member who was the abuser is in the legal system right now. Well, guess what? If they get on bail, they're out.
Yep.
And so our advocate was briefing this mom who's caring for her kids on, hey, let's talk about go bags.
Yep.
Let's talk about, is your vehicle ready? Do you have a word that you can yell to your kids if you're dealing with the father who's come to
Yep.
maybe do some damage before he goes to prison for a long time or dies in prison, because that's what happens to those guys.
Yep.
Um, do the kids know where to run? Do they know what to tell the neighbor? Do you trust your neighbors? Do you know these people? Do you have a go bag that you can take on foot if your vehicle's blocked in and he's parked behind you?
Yep.
Watching the advocacy team plan with her through this, I'm gonna get goosebumps talking about it, because like, man, these folks are good.
Yep.
They're good at what they do. All the way to the other side of that, I mean, satanic ritual abuse, or
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, that's wild dealing with this stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the full spectrum. That was all basically from birth until now. This young mom dealing with this. Um, she was involved in, and again, there's a million people helping in this type of effort. We can't do it all, but we have a special niche that we can get into and assist other groups. When she basically ran out of options, we talked about this on social media today. So we posted it on October 24th. We talked about it. Just the folks that were helping couldn't help her anymore. And not at her fault, but she was out of options. She had
Yep.
nowhere else to go. And again, me, advocate team, linked up with her, took care of her. She's in a safe spot. She's on the next step to her journey right now.
Yep.
But Kaleb House was a part of that, in a meaningful way, not like and I'm not discounting prayer, but hey, thank you. We'll pray for you.
Yep.
I mean, I think that's kind of a sick thing to do, to say, hey, be warm and fed. God bless you and send you out. I think that goes against what James talks about. So
100%.
yeah.
Yep.
So I love prayer, but you need prayer and tangible support, which is what we're providing.
Prayer should lead to action.
Yeah, always.
Prayer should lead to action. And what I have found, and to everybody out there who prays for KH, thank you.
Please continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please continue, because these boys and girls need the covering. And I don't mean just the boys and girls that are in care. I mean the boys and girls that are out in the fields and on the team and doing all that as well. But you say you have faith. I will show you my faith by my works.
Yeah.
And how do we define those works? Well, now we get into denominational arguments that amount to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Are you loving your neighbor as yourself? Are you loving God with everything that you've got? If you can say yes to those two things, yeah, we'll argue about the details in the kingdom.
Yeah.
That's my standpoint.
Yeah.
And none of us got it all right anyway.
Yeah.
That's praise the Father. We're going to get a little face to face at the end of an age. And I feel like that's going to look like everybody sit down, crisscross applesauce.
Yeah.
Okay. Remedial training. You did this, great. But I hold this against you. It's like, oof. I am so sorry about that. I genuinely thought. He's like, I know. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
Because your heart condition was correct. However, and it's very much so like having kids, raising children. That's why I oftentimes affectionately refer to the Creator as Dad.
Yeah.
Because having my own children and having children in our care, it's like, your children come to you with these requests sometimes that are just ludicrous. But they're entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Dad, if you had a dinosaur, would you paint it purple or red? And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, it depends on what kind of dinosaur. What are
Yeah.
we talking about? T-Rex?
Mm-hmm.
Probably red. Brontosaurus, Brachiosaurus, probably purple.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it one of them things with wings?
Mm-hmm.
And they're just, my favorite analogy on this is like, sometimes you talk about timing, right?
Yeah.
Your kids are hungry.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, Dad, I want a snack. And you're in the kitchen preparing this 3-course meal that's going to be just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like, if you could just wait 10 minutes, dinner will be ready. I want this. I want that. And it's like,
Yeah.
chill.
Yeah.
And they end up, they smelt onto the floor of the kitchen. And it's like, bro, 10 minutes, lock it up.
They're asking for the great value gummies.
Yeah.
And you're over here, like you said,
Yep.
point, your favorite meal is coming. What you need, what is good for you, what's going to bless you is coming.
Yep.
But they don't want that. They want the gummies right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with plenty of red 40 mixed in. So that's what they're shooting on. I want the red 40. Hold on, you're getting something much better. Hold on.
100%. And so if you can, through obedience, extend your ability to endure displeasure and discomfort,
Yeah.
that's the dividend on the back end of that. It's always so much. It's like, do you want filet? Do you want bone-in tomahawk ribeye?
Right.
Or do you want red 40?
Right.
And I know you think you need red 40,
Mm-hmm.
but you really need this tomahawk ribeye.
Yeah. That's what you're hankering for. It's not what you need.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, even in the whole program that we're talking about with this too, with everything that we're providing. So something I talk about a lot. I have a phrase like, I want to be an enemy of hell.
Yep.
Right. I want to reduce the census of hell. That's a goal of mine. And what does that look like to actually be someone who's waging war against the gates of hell?
Yep.
It requires courage. You've got to be able to do, right? Not just talk about, not ruminate, but taking action. The second step is humility, realizing, okay, I can't do it, but I've got a team and the Lord's watching out for us, all this thing. 3 is wonder of God. Just, you're courageous, you're humble. I know a lot of scumbags who have courage. I know a lot of scumbags who are humble. But can you place yourself under the wonder of God as well? And then kind of something my church had talked about a week or two ago, which kind of shifted it, where I had 3 components of an enemy of hell, but I would now throw generosity into that as well. Just, you're courageous, you're humble, you're in wonder of God, and you're generous. Those are distinctly Christian virtues that are all needed in what we do right now. Like, those are all components.
I want to reinforce courage
Okay.
With scripture. So Revelation 21, Messiah speaking, the one who overcomes shall inherit all of this, and I shall be his Elohim, his God, and he shall be my son. But as for the cowardly, so the first descriptor, it begins with cowardly.
Yeah.
But as for the cowardly and untrustworthy and abominable and murderers and those who whore, the drug sorcerers and idolaters, and all the fake and all the false, their part is in the lake which burns with fire and sulfur, which is the second death.
Right.
We don't think of cowardly as an attribute that is against the kingdom of heaven. But it is de facto scripturally outside the character of a follower of Messiah,
right,
to be a coward. And you talk about, you had all this life experience leading up to what, and then the veil was lifted. My whole life, I've literally and metaphorically been punched in the face.
Yeah.
My whole life, first at home, and then at school, and then at bars, and then at work. And like, I've kind of gotten to the point at this point, it's like, I've been punched in the face so many times. It's like, oh, so now you're going to punch me in the face too? Okay, that's sample size 1 of 100,000.
Yeah.
Meh.
Yeah.
Best of luck, right? And so what happens with that, and it's easy to get inward focused and go, why? Why? Why would you allow this to happen? It's like, because now you're going to get punched in the face.
Yeah.
Because now you can take a punch. And now you know how to punch back.
Yeah.
Right. And now you know what the body language of somebody who's going to punch looks like. You've learned all of this. right? And so now you can use that to benefit. It seems as, and this is one of the things I've had the absolute blessing to interact with some of the children that we have in care. And one of the common questions is, and you see this all the time, the basic question is, why would a good and loving God allow something like this to happen?
Yeah.
And the answer is because it's part of your story of overcoming.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to take stumbling blocks, we're going to turn them into testimony, because the best person there is to solve this problem is actually you.
Mm-hmm.
You are the subject matter expert.
Right.
And so you will have a witness and a testimony that's directly relative to the next person that comes in here, and the next person, and the next person. And so, what is bad? It's our opinion of what is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because what is.
Mm-hmm.
These things happen.
Yeah.
And now the Father gives us excellent instruction and guideline as to what's righteous and what's unrighteous, what we should tolerate and what we shouldn't tolerate. But I believe everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And the primary reason is it's in servitude, glory for Him.
Yeah.
Right? So when these bad things happen to innocent people, why was their innocence robbed of them? What could possibly come of that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's other people who are having their innocence robbed from them too.
Mm-hmm.
And we need a battalion of warriors who are subject matter experts in this,
Yeah.
who have overcome this. They know it intricately. They know what the punch coming looks like to be able to get in there and help fix the next generation, the next generation, the next generation. And so then you get this force multiplication of righteousness
Yeah.
that actually gets to solving the problem, not just, we're stopping the bleed.
Yeah.
And at the same time as we're stopping the bleed, we're also building like field surgeons
Mm-hmm.
and definitive care.
Yeah.
If that makes sense to use that analogy.
Well, I think that's a big part of it. And moving folks who are getting out of this type of situation, children, families, all the stuff that are involved in this thing, shifting that from a that happened to you to a survivorship to now we're going to grow that. I'll go back to the courage thing. Now we're going to teach you how to combat it. I think courage is a skill. And so it's an attribute, absolutely. But you can teach courage. You can teach people how to, someone may be born naturally more bold than another person, but you can teach courage. We do it every day in the military. You take some kid from New York and New Jersey and Georgia and all across the US, throw them together, maybe scared to hold a gun the first time they've ever seen one. And 10 weeks later, hey, guess what? You got a go-getter infantry guy right ready to go. So courage is a skill. You can teach it, but you teach it through action.
Yep.
I can read you about courage. I can read you stories, and I think it's a big part of the healing process is understanding the story that you're talking about. What were you at in your life story? But at some point, there's the problem, and we move into action to solve it, and the action moves to the result. So that's part of the healing process is letting them embrace what happened to say that was preparing you for this next part. I've had plenty of life experiences that sucked and I would not recommend them. But I look back and like, oh, that's why that happened to me. Is so I would understand, I would have more compassion for someone who is going through something similar. My wife has been through a lot in life. And even getting into this job, it's like, why did that happen? Well, so she could help me understand this type of world better as well. So it's incredible once you move from the start to the action, and then I have developed courage. It's not like I'm going to be courageous. Yeah, you make the choice, but you look back and say, I'm courageous because I've done this. You can prove it, not as a theory, but through your life.
There's a sister who has a sticker that says, "You survived 100% of your bad days."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, facts, right? Because you build a track record with yourself.
Yeah.
That I am reliable. I am somebody who does things. I am somebody who makes it happen. I am somebody who can be humble.
Right.
Always be learning, whatever it is. Right. I am somebody who can practice stewardship. And that's really important because while that's factually true, most people also have this counter narrative that plays in their head like a bad record.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I'm worthless.
Yeah.
I'm not valued. I'm not good enough. And it's like, well, that Paul talks about take hold of every thought, right? That has to go away. then I have to look at the proof. What is the proof? What
Yeah.
have I already done?
Yeah.
Right. Um, and what have I already done in partnership with him? Which goes back to prayer. Prayer should lead to action,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so that action, acting courageously, doing the right thing, the brave thing, going when you're scared anyway.
Right.
I've been scared plenty of times doing what Kaleb House does.
Yeah.
Plenty of times. It's got to get done.
Right.
It just has to get done.
Mm-hmm.
And I sit in a very unique position at the top of what we colloquially call the enterprise,
Mm-hmm.
with this umbrella corp with all these other things underneath it, where 80% of my day is just making executive level calls for other people.
Yeah.
Yes, no.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why somebody's always pissed off at me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay,
Mm-hmm.
because somebody's got to say yes or no,
Right.
or go or don't go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, especially with KH, so much of that is understanding, genuinely understanding the gravitas of what it is that we need to do, coupled with the people that we have. That we have codified this in our bylaws in the nonprofits.
Yeah.
We are the kind of people that are going to run towards problems,
Right.
whether we're scared or not.
Mm-hmm.
This is just who we are.
Yeah.
And I know because I've seen us do it hundreds of times. And so, what's the likelihood that we're going to keep doing this? What does the data say?
Yeah.
We're going to keep running towards problems.
Yeah.
We should probably put some left and right limits on what those problems look like and how
Yeah.
we address them. But there have been some heated board meetings where it's been like, look,
Mm-hmm.
this is happening either way.
Yeah.
You can sign off on this, or we can stop talking about it so
Mm-hmm.
that you have plausible deniability.
Yeah.
But either way,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, okay, all right. And I think that is, courage in action. And we're teaching that to the people that we have in our care,
Yeah.
because they have been taught verbally and experientially that they are nothing,
Yeah.
that they're useless, that they're chattel, that they
Yeah.
have no self-worth whatsoever. Which is why we don't use the term victim. I will not use that
Right.
word with the people that we help. They're not victims.
Yeah.
Just like I'm not a victim and you're not a victim. We're survivors
Survivors.
of 100% of our bad days.
Yeah.
And their bad days have been really bad.
Yeah.
They're still here.
Yeah.
So they are living proof of the fact that we can overcome this.
Yeah.
Because they're still here.
That endurance, that persistence.
Yeah.
You've survived this. And that goes back to the story idea too. Sometimes if we've gotten you out of an environment, I'm going to put you in situations, small ones, we're going to build this thing up. It starts building that self-awareness, that self-understanding, that self-confidence from knowing
Mhm.
yourself through the actions, through the stories that we're going to place you in. Like, let's get a little confidence win right here, a little confidence win, little confidence win. And sometimes it's very small. We can start very small, but even the satanic ritualistic abuse thing from this
Mhm.
week, 2 little wins within about a 30-minute period just to start shifting that mindset.
Yep.
So it's an incredible thing.
It's one of the challenges that we've had from a legal side is the survivors make terrible witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
They just do.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is if the offender is in the room with them, in the courtroom with them, and I'm not betraying
Yeah.
any confidences here. They
Yeah.
know this too.
Yeah.
What happens with SRA in many cases, and it happens intentionally, is you get what's called DID, dissociative identity disorder, and you also get MPD, multiple personality disorder, and the person's psyche tends to fracture at the point of trauma.
Yeah.
Right. There's shadows of that even with things like TBI and PTSD, where you're reliving this thing as if it's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the awesome facets of Dr. Trevor Wilkins being one of my best friends. Like there's not another person on earth that has the stack of credentials, and that's not hyperbole.
Yeah.
He is one of one that has the stack of credentials that he
Mhm.
has. So he's helped me a lot with brain science and frameworks and prefrontal cortex and the amygdala and all that
Mhm.
stuff. Because he's this big jack tatted dude with a beard and a mohawk,
Mhm.
and he's also a genius.
Yeah.
Like the way he has internalized this information, then can explain it in layman's terms. It's like that is another has been another huge contributing factor to how KH does what KH does.
Yeah.
But when there's that fracture that takes place intentionally through SRA, the person who gets up on the stand, even the person that we've been rebuilding and trying to stitch back together and recreate this identity for them, that they are a son or daughter of the Most High. They
Right.
are fearfully and wonderfully made, that there's intentionality to all of this.
Yeah.
The offender, their goal is that the person that we are, for lack of a better term, recreating is not who's testifying.
Yeah.
It's the person that they've offended.
Mhm.
And so that MPD, multiple personality disorder, that DID comes out on the stand.
Yeah.
And then even as you've coached somebody to be incredible on the witness stand, that can oftentimes fall apart.
Yeah.
Now, the inverse is also true. I've seen plenty of prepubescent girls go into a courtroom and just rip their offender a new asshole.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
sweetie,
Yeah.
I am so proud of you.
Yeah.
Great job. Right. And so it's doable.
Yeah.
We're doing it, which is awesome. But it's a challenge.
Mhm.
A kid should never have to be in a courtroom um, telling stories like that in
Yeah.
front of people that they've never known,
Right.
with the person who did this to them
Yeah.
present. Um, and so there's a lot of strength. There's a lot of
Yeah.
courage even in that,
Yeah.
you know?
But I don't think a lot of folks realize too, just because bad guy gets arrested does not mean he's going to jail. Does not mean he's going to prison
Yep.
from items like that. I mean, don't want to get too far in the weeds, but I mean, it's falsely placed shame, but these kids feel shame.
Yep.
Oh, I did something bad. That's why that's happened to me. And that's the stories that they're told as it's happening to them. So if we can develop that courage and shift that story a little bit, I think that's
I really,
that's key. So again, going back to everything is messy. It's not, hey, we got this.
yep.
We're going to court. This is going to be easy. There's a legal game at play here, and it's very easy for lawyers to pick apart a kid and a
Mhm.
mom who was in the house. And I mean,
Yep.
it's not, none of it's easy. It's a lot of work.
I struggled at first when we first started doing this
Yeah.
with the amount of rage that I
Mhm.
felt, and I still do on occasion. And thank you, Dr. Trevor. I'm well
Mhm.
aware that emotion and logical decision making cannot coexist.
Right.
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 It's literally not possible for the brain to do both at the same time. So it's like, okay, feel the emotion, acknowledge it, move on. Let's
Yeah.
get into the logical decision making so we can make the best call because of the gravitas of what we do.
Right.
Um, but I really struggled with, from a biblical standpoint, am I even allowed to feel this rage? And I don't read Psalms. I know some people are really into
Mhm.
Psalms, some people are not. Um, the Psalms don't really do a whole lot for me, being
Mhm.
perfectly honest, as an individual. Um, but I was flipping through the Psalms one day, and David says to, assuming you believe he's the psalmist, whatever, we can argue
Mhm.
that. The psalmist says, do I not hate what you hate with a righteous hatred?
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, David has felt this too,
Yeah.
and God also hates it. And there is such a thing as a righteous hatred.
Yeah.
And that actually helped me channelize all of this that I was feeling
Mhm.
and turn it into motivation to lead to execution for the preservation of life.
Yeah.
Um, and so you can feel emotions, which for me is an odd feeling.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
rage, I'm very good at. The
Yeah.
remainder of the spectrum,
Yeah.
not so much.
Yeah.
Um, there's a healthy way to feel those things that if we can acknowledge them, yep, they're there. That's legitimate.
Yeah.
That's a righteous
Yeah.
hatred. Okay. Now let's move beyond that. What are you going to do
Mhm.
legally, morally, ethically
Right.
for the preservation of life? What actions can we take to mitigate having to continue to feel this rage?
Yeah.
Um, and for me, because of my upbringing, because of my background, I have always abhorred a bully.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I won't.
Yeah.
You cannot be a bully in my presence. I don't care if you whip my ass or not.
Yeah.
You're gonna know I was there.
Right.
Simple as
Right.
that. And I've been doing that since I was 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna know I was there.
Yeah.
So going back to like, why does good stuff or bad stuff happen to good people?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have thousands of reps and I abhor a bully.
Yeah.
And you're gonna know I was there. Whether you whip my ass or not, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those, you should see the other guy,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, you've been here for about a month,
Yeah.
and how has, from first being on the outside to now being on the inside, how has um, working at Kaleb House compared expectation versus reality?
Yeah. Great question. I would say it's not as complex as I thought it was going to be. We're a lot farther along than our mutual acquaintance had brought up. We're actually a lot
Hmm.
farther along. A lot of it is just streamlining to make sure, because everyone's compartmentalized intentionally, right? So making sure everyone's on the same page. It's like, oh, hey, they're actually doing this, and this could benefit this. But because of the security aspect, sometimes the communication can break down between them.
Hmm.
Um, I'll say on the people side though, I didn't know who I was hopping in with. I went from like, okay, good people to these are exceptional people doing the work of angels every day. Um, that was probably the biggest shift for me, is realizing, okay, the problem's complicated. It's not as complex, but it is complicated. We're going to figure this out. But the people that you work with are just
Yeah.
have far exceeded my expectations. So, and that's between outreach team, between advocacy team, construction team, all the other little items that we have. I'm just blown away.
Yeah.
And often um, again, shouting back out to Alyssa in construction, she'll come up with a, hey, this happened. I'm like, okay, let me try to figure out how to solve it. But here's what I've done about it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, great. So you don't need me. You're just giving me an update. So just go getters. Just
Yeah.
and they're excellent at what they do. They don't want to settle for, well, that was good enough. I love working with people when it bugs them that I have to talk them back, like, you actually did a really great job. You're beating yourself up. 'Cause I'm sorry you got a 98 on the test and not 100. But it just always impressed. Like, I'm getting goosebumps again. I get goosebumps all the time working here.
Yep.
But they're just so humble to get to work with these folks who are doing so much with so little to such great effect.
One of my favorite quotes is attributed to Mother Teresa.
Mm-hmm.
We, the willing, have done so much with so little for so long, we cannot do anything with nothing.
Mm.
I feel that way
Yeah.
about us. And the key word is willing.
Yeah.
Are you willing to do it?
Yeah.
You know, and just to foot stomp your praise of the people, the biggest challenge that I have with our people is, because they're problem solvers, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
They don't come to me with bullshit.
Yeah.
Which I love that.
Yeah.
But then there's other times when they should come to me,
mm-hmm.
and they're just grinding on a thing.
Yeah.
It's like, if you'd let me know, I got a guy for that, or
Yeah.
that's already handled. They're like, well, I didn't want to bother you.
Yeah.
It's like, you're allowed to bother me.
Yeah.
And it's not a bother.
Yeah.
Please. And it's one of the benefits of having you here now,
Mm-hmm.
is like, bother Adam.
Yeah. Well, a funny part on that too is I was talking with the advocacy team a little bit yesterday as we were moving some people around, some survivors, and chatting with them. I'm intentionally changing how I look in certain ways to not so be intense. I used to have shaved head, biker look,
Yep.
intense. I'll carry my man purse around right now to just look softer. So it's like, you can talk to me. I'm trying not to be intense.
Hi, I'm Adam.
Yeah. So one of the advocacy women that I work with, she said, so you're going for the soy boy look, right? And I'm like, no, but closer to that direction than how I came in. So, but yeah,
we got to get you a latte.
I'm going to have one on.
Yeah.
In there, ready to go.
That's what I'm saying.
Something pink. I want something pink in there to say.
Like a pink boba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even on that, the phrase I use is, I'm going from angry veteran look to like Snuffleupagus from Sesame Street. Like, I want the kids to feel safe coming up to me and not be like, shaved head, scary man. I'm like, okay, he looks like a guy that would have a ponytail. I'm not going to go that far. And
Yeah.
it's okay. I can comb my hair now.
Kids are so much better at seeing souls than adults are, though.
Yeah.
That's one of the major observations that I've had with Kaleb House. And then I see it with our own children, in our house, in our
Yeah.
congregation. They see souls,
Yeah.
not just the physical presentation of a person. And it's actually a beautiful thing because it's something that adults could be better at.
Hmm.
We're just out of practice.
Yeah.
We look at the material world and the material indicators first, and then look
Yeah.
at the soul rather than the other way around.
Yeah.
We go back to Messiah, and he's like, "Yo, what's up? You're a tax collector. You should
Hmm.
come hang out with me. Do you
Hmm.
live in a gutter? What are you doing down there? Come
Yeah.
hang out with me.
Yeah.
You guys want bread? Let's
Hmm.
let's walk. Let's get
Yeah.
some bread.
Yeah.
And it's like that's super basic, but we suck at that as people.
But I'll throw this at too because I was thinking about this on the drive up today from the site. Um, just in terms of people's generosity coming in, I was thinking, well, what is this kind of like? Well, it's just like Jesus feeding the 5,000. I
Yep.
mean, a little bit of a gift, he can make this thing. Okay, some bread, some fish. We're going to feed 5,000 people with this thing,
Yep.
and then we're going to do it again, and then we're going to do it again. So
It's interesting you bring that up because we
mhm.
did not coordinate any of this. We
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, I just showed up. Thanks, TJ.
Yeah,
For like,
oh, it's Adam.
yeah,
It's funny because I had told my wife you were coming, and I had told my wife the time you were coming.
hmm
But she's wife stuff. She got a
hmm
thousand things going on. She
yeah,
goes, "There's someone in the driveway," and I was like, "That's okay." We
hmm
know. And all the dogs were like, "We're up," and I was
yeah.
like, "Chill, chill. It's Adam. Everybody,
Mhm.
chill." Um,
Which,
but
if you ever come to TJ's house, don't move with those dogs. You open the door, let
yeah.
them come to you.
Do you like breathing and
Yeah,
all of your blood inside of your body?
yeah.
Yeah, I would.
It's like getting pulled in from the cops. Hands on the steering wheel, eyes forward. Like put your keys on the dash. Like let them breathe, and then okay, they're wagging tails. I'm going to
Yeah,
let you know.
we're
Yeah.
good here. But the feeding of the 5,000 is very much so a parable for us too. It's
Hmm.
very applicable to what we do. And for me, the key lessons there, if we just look at the physiology of what Messiah tells everybody to do, he goes, everybody sit down.
Hmm.
He changes their posture.
Yeah.
Like crisscross applesauce, ass in the grass. Let's
Yeah.
go. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then he tells the apostles, start. I'm like, we don't have enough.
Hmm.
He's like, do you know who I am? Just start.
Yeah.
You'll have more, and this is the key. If you start, you will have more left over than what you began with
Yeah.
in the process of serving. And that's us.
Hmm.
Grindstone has a dump truck. We bought that dump truck, Hurricane Helene. We had $40,000 in the bank. We bought that dump truck for $38,000, while at the time having a $4,000 a month payroll.
Hmm.
It was like, hey guys, you got 2 weeks?
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, but we got to have this truck in order to move this debris because of this tornado.
Yeah.
And this is the right call. This is what we're doing. And the staff at the time were like, hell yeah,
Yeah.
get the dump
Yeah.
truck. Like
Yeah.
we need a dump truck. We'll find other jobs in 2 weeks if we need to.
Yeah.
Let's go. And the following day, y'all, you on camera, the following day, the donations that came in the following day, mind you, our total holdings as an organization were 40 grand. $42,000 came in the next day.
No kidding.
And I'm like, thank you.
Mhm.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Right. And oh my gosh, I got dump truck stories at the wazoo. It's a different conversation. It served us well.
Yeah.
But
that just goes back to the wonder of God, though, and all this. Like,
yeah.
You're gonna think I'm in some kind of like weird lecture. I get goosebumps talking about this stuff all the
Yeah,
time.
it's a spirit.
And it's just incredible to realize. Oh wait, I'm taking this risk. I'm going to act in obedience, and God is going to bless you in that. And
Mhm.
it's just incredible. He's going to put you in situations you're not ready for,
Yep.
and he's going to see you through them consistently. That's just his faithfulness towards us.
For me, it just goes back to yes.
Yeah.
And my background, I spent a decade of being at war with him.
Mhm.
And I know what it's like to take an ass whipping from the creator of the universe
Yeah.
for a decade.
Yeah.
And I'm good. I've had enough of that in this go around. I don't want any more of that. And so when we talk about fear nothing,
Yeah.
but Yahweh, your Elohim, the Lord, your God, right?
Yeah.
And fear in the Hebrew connotation means to deeply respect.
Yeah.
But going back to the awe, right? I don't want to catch a whooping from dad anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also not the pinnacle of obedience, just so everybody's aware, because I'm also very stubborn, very stubborn.
Right.
And so sometimes I need him to kind of smack me upside the head and say, hey, I told you to go 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Why are you still here?
Right.
But in his grace and his mercy, the operational window is still open 3 days later when I finally get the message.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm no pinnacle of obedience, and I greatly resist people trying to put me up on a pedestal.
Yeah.
That's not the place for me. That's the place for him.
Yeah.
Because I'm just a dude. That being said, we have operationalized go.
Mm-hmm.
That mindset, that conviction. Like I said, we are the type of people that are going to run towards problems.
Yeah.
It pisses my wife off sometimes. I
Yeah.
mean, she loves me,
Yeah.
and she loves us.
Yeah.
She's very supportive, but it's like, I'm making XYZ for dinner. I'm like, that's great. I gotta go. I have to eat. That kitchen right there, not that long ago, I was standing in that kitchen. I was cooking dinner with my wife, and we're just, joking around, messing with each other,
Yeah.
playing grab ass,
Yeah. Yeah.
having a good time. And my phone rings. I tell everybody, don't call me unless it's an emergency.
Yeah.
Because my fight or flight response kicks on when my phone rings. Text me.
Yeah.
If we need to talk, we'll coordinate. Then I'll call you or you call me, and that's fine. But a phone call out of the blue, something's up.
It's game time.
It's game time. So my phone rings, and I look at it. I see who it is. A mutual acquaintance of ours. Pick up the phone. I'm like, "What do you got?" He goes, "X, Y, and Z. This location, this timeline. 3-year-old."
Yeah.
And my wife is looking at me while I'm on the phone. I'm like, I'm up. I'll be there in 45. Go link up spot, start the thing. Hang up the phone. I look at her. She goes, "What's up?" I said, 3-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, "Go. I'll see you when I see you."
Yeah.
It's like, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
And standard question, when do you think you'll be home? It's like, I don't know,
Right.
but I'm coming home.
Right.
Simple as that. And that's a whole nother thing that I think people are unaware of. All of the men and women inside of this organization, when we talk about adopting risk,
Mm-hmm.
part of what that risk and that operational drag looks like is the effect that it has on our spouse and our family.
Yeah.
I have an 18-month-old, and there was a period of time where it was hard. I was distancing myself from my own children
Mm-hmm.
because of the hurt that I had seen
Yeah.
perpetrated on other children. And I had to pull myself out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, there's got to be a way to point this back to joy. And it is. I'm thankful
Yeah.
that my kids have never experienced any of this.
Mm-hmm.
And it would, my oldest is getting engaged right now. And I love her to the moon and back.
Mm-hmm.
And I love my future son-in-law to the moon and back. They're great young people, right? I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
But the shit that they're concerned with is so trivial
Mm-hmm.
that it would annoy me sometimes to like try and have a dinner conversation
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, I'm over here trying to navigate this,
Yeah.
right? And then I had to turn that into, thank God the stuff that they have to deal with is this trivial.
Yeah.
It's all this
Yeah.
low-hanging fruit stuff, and that
Mhm.
they don't know this pain, this heartache, their character arc, at least at this point in their story, is not going to require overcoming this thing.
Yeah.
But it was very difficult for a while to compartmentalize this type of work from this type of home environment.
Right.
And it's easy to say, well, don't bring your work home with you. It's much harder to
Thanks.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Tracking.
Yeah.
Sure. And my wife is an amazing human being.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been several times where I've walked through the door. She looks at me and goes, outside.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's up? We go to the porch and she goes, whatever this is going on, she goes, I need this to fall off of you before you come inside.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what's up? And she goes, you don't realize how powerful you are. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, your energy drives this home.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're pissed off, everybody's pissed off.
Yeah.
Even the dogs and the baby are pissed off because you're in a bad mood or
Mm-hmm.
you're wrestling with this thing.
Yeah.
So go take, I love you. Go take as much time as you need for this thing to fall off of you.
Yeah.
And then please come inside the home. I was like, oof, I didn't realize I was even having that effect.
Yeah. Well, and a part of that, I would call that the aroma that you bring
Yeah.
home, right? Like whether you think you stink like something good or bad walking in, people feel it, and it does affect the aroma of your home. Everyone else is carrying it. Um, it's heavy, and what you had talked about earlier with average career span in this field, somewhere between 18 months, 2 years. That's about
Yep.
how long people last. It's not because people are lazy. It's not because they're not hard workers. It is because of the social effect that it has. It's a
Mm-hmm.
burden. And once you get out of it too, it's still going to be a burden at
Yep.
some point in your life. God can work with you. He can give you peace and healing, but you're reopening scars every time you engage with something like that. And that's something we're working on too with our team. Like how do we ensure we have the longest lifespan possible, and we're
Mm-hmm.
not just burning people to what they burn to a crisp at the end and they're
Yep.
a husk of themselves anymore. It's when it's time to go, we get it. God bless you. You're on a good path
Yep.
as well. Actually, FBI, as they rotate people in and out for investigations on specific violent sexual based crimes, it's like a tour. Like,
Yeah.
and this isn't like blue haired hippie chicks. This is FBI agents.
Yep.
They last about 18 months. And then the FBI knows we need to pull them out for a season. And that's kind of a tour of duty that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, you're dealing with pure evil. It's
Yeah.
wickedness. It's demonic. None of this is uh, just a natural thing. It's spiritual. So,
We I go back too often. Hey, Elijah got 2 years of nap and cookie time.
mhm.
And I'm so thankful for that. Because if we look at the story of Elijah, right, it's like, hey, go over here, tell Ahab he's a jerk. Go kill 450 dudes down by the
Mhm.
Wadi Kidron. By the way, I'm going to send flaming hail to accept your offering, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And you get done. And I kind of, Elijah resonates with me. He's he's a little emo at times,
Mhm.
you know? Why, God?
Yeah.
Do you still love me? It's like, look at the proof, asshole. Like,
Yeah.
clearly I
Yeah.
still love
Yeah.
you. Right. And so there he is. He's, in the desert plain and he's like, I'm gonna die. And God's like, no. He's like, well, then I temper tantrum.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna eat. He's like, I will make the birds of the sky feed you.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like what you need. I got this. I've reserved a cave for you.
Yep.
Right. It's lovely. She's appointed.
Mhm.
You go take a nap. Okay. Eat some bread.
Mhm.
I'll see you when I see you. And in that whole process, God wasn't in the storm. He
Yeah.
wasn't in the wind. He was in the still small voice. And Elijah has this realization where it's like, I've been out of the game for 2 years.
Yeah.
I all the works that could have been done didn't get done
Yeah.
because I wasn't doing my part. And the father comes to him and says, hey man, I love you, kid. Love you. You're the best. Also, I have left to me 7,000 men who have not bent the knee to Baal.
Yeah.
Meaning, my interpretation, the Father's will is going to be done.
Mhm.
Okay. And at this point, Elijah needed to step back. He needed to take a couple of years off so he could deal with all the stuff that he had been through
Mhm.
and then also continue to contribute afterwards in an effective way
Yeah.
because he was not in a good place. When you're laying in the desert going, I just want to die, it's
Yeah.
like you probably shouldn't adopt any more cases right
Right.
now.
Right.
And it's so relatable to me. It's so human, which I think a lot of people miss with interpreting the words. Like, these are people
Yeah.
we're talking about interacting with an awesome living creator that's beyond our ability to comprehend.
Yeah.
Um, and the father's like, hey man, I love you and you're precious to me. Also, there's 7,000 more of you.
Yeah.
So like the mission is ongoing.
Yeah.
Right. So the work still got done. And I think sometimes for guys like you and me, for the people that we work with, we feel like, well, if I don't do this, it won't get done.
Yeah.
if it's the Father's will, it will get done.
Hmm.
There are seasons where nap and cookie is reasonable,
Yeah.
and it should be, because we were talking about this recently. If you're not called to this, you're sitting in somebody else's seat,
Hmm.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
And if you're still called to it, but your gas tank's on empty, that's okay.
Hmm.
The Father provides, and He
Yeah.
has over and over and over again, and will continue to. So it's what we're talking about previously. The mission is bigger than any one of us,
Yeah.
and it's been really humbling for me to see from what it was 5 years ago. Dad said, get a bulldozer, you build the houses, I'll handle the rest.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hmm.
no problem. There's a very gracious gentleman out there in the Bear Nation that sent us a bulldozer, sent us a track hoe, and he's like, "Here, go do good stuff with this." Mazel tov, bless
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many different people sat on that bulldozer.
Hmm.
It started with just me,
Yeah.
and it's not just me anymore, and that's been really cool to see because it's not, nor can it be, a cult of personality thing.
Hmm.
It's mission driven.
Right.
We got to do the right things for the right reasons. So much so that if I, for whatever reason, get pulled out of this,
Hmm.
the mission continues,
Yeah.
right? And that's, I also love it from a security standpoint, because there's a gaggle of shitheads that
Yeah.
would love to see terrible things happen to Bear. Okay,
Hmm.
bring it.
Yeah.
Okay, spider versus starfish.
Hmm.
You cut the arm off of a starfish, you just made two starfish,
Hmm.
and that we're intentionally structured that way.
Yeah.
Um, sure, I could have a happy accident. I'm not eager, but I could have
Yeah.
a happy accident. All you did was make it worse for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, I mean, even on items like that, whether it's personality based things or any of this, whether it's fatiguing, going back to Elijah or anything like this, there was a quote that I love because it gave me a lot more comfort than I thought it would come from the meme.
hmm
But it said, God has already calculated in your stupidity,
Yep.
right? or your
Yep.
foolishness, what your stubbornness, um, how you plan, how you process things. He's going to use your foolishness to do
hmm
incredible work that you would not have figured out. So that's always a great comfort to me. But for people like us, like our audience, who have a action oriented faith,
Yep.
you're gonna bump into people along the way that may not realize, okay, you're opposing this mission that we're trying to do. Not all of them are the devil. Some of them are just stupid, right? It's like you don't get it. You don't get what I'm trying to say. And so yeah, I mean, in terms of creating an organizational structure, that I'll put it like this, is not dependent on Bear. We talked
Yep.
about this when I was coming in, very early. Doesn't have to be anything nefarious. Just, hey, you got T-boned on the way in,
hmm
right? That stuff happens every day to people. Um, does the organization survive
Yeah.
past Bear, or are we Bear dependent? And so there's going to be what I'm hoping to be as a transitional process of, you're with us as long as we can have you. But if you,
hmm
by the way, it doesn't have to be something tragic. Just, hey, I need to take a knee.
Yep.
You got 9 other things you're juggling. I see it always. Um, okay, the operation is going to continue. Take 6 months. We can run this perfectly fine without you. Once you get
hmm
that momentum set up. So
Yeah. And mitigating key man risk is something that I'm very aware of
yeah,
in all the different
yeah,
facets of what we do. Um, and you know, I'm the founder, I'm the visionary,
yeah,
right? Like it used to be like, I'm the one that God told. Okay, well, in the mouths of two or three, let a thing be established.
yeah,
And you see that on both sides of the Old Testament and the New. Um, well, he's told lots of people. He didn't just tell me.
hmm,
And that's why there's lots of people
yeah,
here. And that's super cool. It's also, it helps validate the like, am I crazy?
yeah,
Like, yes,
hmm,
but in the best ways possible.
oh.
You know?
Well, even on that type of thing where, hey, I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be working towards.
hmm
I've not told you this. I've not told maybe anybody this. Um, but that first, like, I'm not sure if this is right for me, TJ. Like, or
hmm
for through the mutual associate that we have. My wife and I were looking at doing something very similar to Kaleb House in Ukraine with the kids, like the orphans. There's a bunch of stuff going on out there. And we were excited about that. Like, okay, this is going to work. I speak a little, I know enough Russian to get beat up, right? Like, it's not good, a little bit of Ukrainian. But it's like, okay, I've got this emergency management background. I've worked in Eastern Europe before. This is what we're supposed to do. And that door closed. And then this one opened back up. And it's like, okay, I was not supposed to, the skill sets were going to be useful in that region. No, I'm supposed to use it here in the US. That's where this focus is supposed to be, where I can do a lot more because I speak Oki far better than I speak Ukrainian. So yeah. And again, it's just interesting. Doors open, close, and working through that idea. I mean, this past year for me has been patience. You learn patience. You're going to work in God's time with Him as He's going to place you, not what I think should be my time or my focus. And so getting very comfortable with God's knows.
Yep.
It's always for my good. It's always for His glory, and being able to kind of maneuver to that at the right time it shows up.
I have one of the phrases that is reoccurring in my daily prayer life is open all the doors that need to be open,
Yeah,
and close all the doors that need to be closed.
Same. And close them hard. I'm stubborn.
Yeah.
I will beat my head against it. Yeah.
Same. Yeah. Take that option away from me.
Yeah.
I had, it don't matter, but I had this, I guess others would probably call it a vision one time. And I was in a hallway with Messiah. We're walking down this hallway, and there's doors on the left and the right. And as we're walking down the hallway, we come up to a doorway. Some of them were already open.
Yeah.
And look into this room, and it was a facet of the enterprise that we're already doing. Look at it, show it to me. Yes, good, okay. Continue down the hallway. Some of them were closed. Some of them hard closed. Some of them, they're pulled closed but not latched.
Yeah.
And the unlatched ones, open this door and show it to me and be this thing that we're not doing or hadn't been doing yet. He said, you see this? I said, yeah, I see it. If you do this, I will bless this. If you do it. It's not required of you, but if you do it, I will bless it. Okay, thank you. We go further down, and there's a door that's closed and it's locked. Opens it. Look in. This is not for you. Understood. Close the door, lock it up again, and we just keep walking down this hallway. I remember waking up from that going, okay, thank you. Because I'm the guy who's like, let's breach this door.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, I told you, that's not for you.
Yeah.
Well,
and I think even thanking Him for the doors, they get closed. So, when we talk about the Lord's Prayer, lead me not into temptation. I'm the stubborn guy where it's like, I think I'm supposed to do this. I need that door to be closed. And then thanking Him. So like the Ukraine thing, thank you, that didn't happen because I'm supposed to be here. Thank you for taking that temptation away from me to be outside of your will that you want for me to slide into the spot where I'm going to give the best use for the kingdom.
Great.
I think there's a lot of value in that as well. So just learning to be thankful for closed doors. Well, going back to even this job, there's a reason we asked for a couple of days of prayer and fasting in between it. Is I want a hard no if the answer is no, because I'm eager to serve. I want to get in here. I want to help. That's my heart's desire. Is this the right time? Is this the right place? And I just grew in peace about it. And no door hit me. So okay, all right. Thank you, Lord. Bless this. Let's go.
For me, it's that process looks like He allows me to see beyond the initial. He never gives me the full pathway, because if He did, that's not faith. Right. That's it. And especially from like a business side, it's really easy to develop. This is our 2026 marketing plan, and there's a lot. No plan survives first contact with the enemy, but it's really easy to come up with what all the steps in the process look like, or at least I would say for me, it's easy. It's not necessarily easy for everyone, but I know He's in it when He shows me the step I'm at, and then the next one. Not all of them, just the next one. And then when my brain starts to function to wrap around what does the next one look like, and because project management experience, lots of leadership experience. Been running companies since I was 17 years old, and I see and plan in calculator brain and Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Like that's what's happening up here, right? And so when the columns and the rows and the spreadsheets start to get populated in my brain, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And it's, for lack of a better word, downloads
Yeah.
coming from dad. This piece has to go here. This is like this. This is how these two things connect, and that's going to inform this thing. And then that will take us from here to there.
Yeah.
And when you get to there, then I'll show you what the next one looks like. And it's like, okay, cool. Because if I had it my way, it's probably challenging to ascertain just observing my life, including my messy office right now.
Yeah.
I love dress right dress. I love neat little box for everything. I
Mhm.
love that. I like it. Just the aesthetic of that pleases me.
Mhm.
It's peaceable to me. Like everything's squared away, everything's good. It's like my desk looks like that, but if my rucksack looked like that, I wouldn't be able to sleep tonight.
Right.
You know what I
Right. Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I got to go fix that. Um, but that's not how he works with me.
Yeah.
He goes, I will show you the next thing. And then when you get there, I'll show you the next thing and the next thing. And that's a walk.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think about like walking with Messiah, that we're going to hold hands and everything's going to be great. And like sometimes he's dragging me along the path, other times he's pushing
Mhm.
me along the path. And it's almost like if you're walking at night and you got a headlamp on and all you can see is what's right here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's one more step, one more step, one more step. And that's where we get back to James, faith in action
Mhm.
is doing stuff without cerebrally knowing how this is going to work out,
Yeah.
but having that conviction to move forward, move forward, move forward.
Yeah.
Um, and walk versus run too. Right?
Mhm.
Like I'm not good at physically running. I'm not built for that.
I've retired from running. Like I have a notebook about when I used to, not anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, you know, I'm not good at physically running, but when it comes to action,
Mhm.
I'm good at action.
Right.
I'm good at do stuff. And so I have to have one of those restraining boundaries on me
Mhm.
is only being allowed to see the next step,
Mhm.
not all the steps. Because otherwise, head down, run through all of them
Right.
without any lessons learned, without any experience, without any care, oftentimes for the contributing efforts of others.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, anyway,
Well, I'll say, is that not the same story though with every single biblical passage? I'm thinking of Moses.
yep.
He gets him out of Egypt. Yay! Hey, we hit a Red Sea. Now everyone's going to complain. What are we going to do now? And then Moses is like, well, let's pray about it.
Yep.
Who, if I'm writing a book, that's not the path I would. Let's be logical. They get some spears and fight. It's like, no,
Hmm.
God provides a way at the time when you're ready to take it, at the moment when you need it, for the greatest effect. If that's what I'm thinking of, we're working through Acts right now in family worship.
Yep.
I'm thinking of, we just read about Paul saying, I got the vision, I'm going to Macedonia.
Yep.
Okay. That was the next step. He didn't need to know what happens after that. And he goes to Rome and he goes to
Hmm.
bigots. Okay, that's the next step. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
And if you read Acts,
Yeah.
shipwrecked, right? Bit by snake,
Mm-hmm.
right? Persecuted.
Beat, imprisoned. I'm
Yeah.
done the list, right?
Yeah,
Like,
man.
I'm
Right?
here for 30 minutes listening to all the stuff that happens.
Yeah. I believe it's Philippians was written in a hole in the ground. It uses the word joy
Mm-hmm.
more times than any other book in the Bible
Yeah.
while he's in a hole in the ground. And that was the prison. They dig a hole, then they excavate the side walls, and they drop you. And it's a deep enough hole, you're not climbing back out again.
Yeah.
And the only way you got fed was if somebody cared enough for you to remember you were in the hole.
Yeah.
And they'd walk over to the hole and drop food
Totally.
down to you. And he's like, bro, the joy that I'm experiencing right
Yeah.
now and being persecuted on
Yeah.
behalf of my Messiah. And I think a lot of times we as Christians, as followers of Messiah, we have this Disney expectation of what it's going to look like
Yeah.
to walk after Messiah. And it's like, we're told the servant is not greater than the master.
Yeah.
Well, look what happened to the master.
Yeah.
So for me, how that gets internalized is like, man, I'm gonna die anyway. I'm not eager for it.
Hmm.
But to your point, to be an enemy of hell, right? Like,
Hmm.
you're gonna know I was here.
Yeah.
You should see the other guy,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Hmm.
yeah, I got the piss beat out of me
Yeah.
righteously, but you should see the other guy.
Well, I mean, that goes to that idea of, okay, Paul in prison, right into the Philippians. If you want to think about it like typographically or symbolically, okay, he's in the abyss, he's in the
Yep.
pit, he's in Sheol, he's in whatever, he's in
Yep.
hell, he's suffering. And even in that, he's still of service to others, right? So
Mm.
he's going to go through it. Even in that, he still is bearing fruit for other people to taste as well. So I'm sorry, you made that
No,
point.
that's a
And my
great
mind's going
word.
to schizo connect between everything, but
Well, my brain went to there's still bread falling from above
bro,
to feed him.
man, I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, I'm sorry. I get in. I'm going to calm myself because I get really into this. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the work we're doing.
Yeah.
We're going into hell, blessing people in this location for as long as we're going to be here,
Yep.
and people are providing for us. People
Yep.
are helping us while we're going through this Hades, through this suffering, through this darkness, so that we can bless other people, and that's a pretty cool.
Yeah.
So good mention on that
Pulling
one.
them out of the darkness and into the light.
I love it.
Yep. So, last question I have for you. Um, Actually, I have two.
Okay.
Um, where do you see where do you see this KH thing going?
Yeah.
What we're doing right now, when you look out 5, 10, 20 years from now, what does this look like?
Yeah. Let me start with where I hope to see us in 6 months, because
Okay.
30 days in, that's about where my vision's at moving forward
Yeah.
with this, right? In the very near future, in the next few weeks, we're talking. What I'm wanting to implement is educational material that is engaging, that can be shared with just about anybody, and not only on the child side, but just trafficking in general. We're gonna have a focus point of
Yep.
this is how you mitigate it. This is how you what happened. Like, what is the first response if something happens?
Mm-hmm.
What is your action drill? Through a variety of different scenarios. We want to make it story based so people latch onto it. I mean, I'm seeing all your military manuals over here. I'm a military manual guy. I couldn't tell you what the next step is going to be on page 48, but I can remember a story, going back to the
Yep.
story idea. Okay, this is a real situation. We've anonymized it where we're not sharing any details, but here's where the error happened. Here's what you should do. Here's some tips. We're going to bring in some really smart people, both on the um, mitigation side and on the cyber side too. Like, okay,
Yep.
a lot of this starts on the internet. How does that work through? Um, Additionally, just our stories being shared. Like, I go back to this mentioned at the very beginning, but so many things that we do, people will never know about. God knows. Maybe some of the board knows. We don't even share anything with the board that we do. Um, but there are so many incredible things happening both on the practical side and on the personal side. So, hey, there's this construction going on. There's this project. There's these tangible items that help the components of the system. But then there's also the soul care stories. Hey, this is a human being. This is where their life's at. This is where they through God's providence interceded with us, and now we're going to push them forward. And just continuing to flesh out the site. That's the 6 month story. If I press fast forward on that, I mean, I'm hoping it's not 5 years when things when we get out there. Hoping within about a year we have a, a large focus of people that we can support on our
Mm-hmm.
local site. A micro item that's kind of in between 6 months and 5 years. We've talked about this. I think we can probably move on this closer to 3 months. But in the military, there's the most dangerous course of action, the most likely course of action.
Mm-hmm.
We often feel the greatest burden with the most dangerous one. Okay, this is a very bad situation. Kid by themselves, can't go back to the parents. We've got to get a full-time
Yep.
foster care, biblical care for this individual. But for every one of those that we come across, we're going to hit 20 that may need a month.
Yep.
And so I don't want to get into too many details on what that's going to look like, but um, being able to spread out the range of care for what we likely hit on a
Mm-hmm.
weekly basis, on a monthly basis. How do we provide excellent care? How do we provide a biblical care for that? And then tier that up to the most dangerous course of action. So
Yep.
we've whispered about that. I won't throw
Yeah.
details out, but that's a way we're hoping to get some meaningful short-term wins. Now, 10, 15 years from now, God blesses it, I'm hoping this thing is copy pasted, copy pasted,
Mm-hmm.
copy pasted. Just from the site that we're trying to develop right now, if you crunch out the numbers from what we're hoping to be able to support on the site that we're developing right now, I'll say X number of people. I don't want to give too much information out, but once it's complete, that almost increases by 20% the national level of beds
Yep.
for sex trafficked children,
Yep.
people like that. So I think it's pretty shocking that we're going to move the needle 20%
Yeah.
possibly in 2 years. Now we copy paste that, and we're going to get better, faster, smoother, quicker. Lessons learned we learned on the first one, it's just going to get better and better and better. So if that's done 3 times, 4 times,
Yep.
man, we've doubled beds. And not trying to poke it from a YouTuber, right? It's like
Yep.
so this is what one person with God's blessing on it can achieve. We can double the amount of care beds in 5 years. I think that'd be a pretty cool
Yeah.
effect.
Um, people do not realize that last time I checked, there were 70,000 DHS funded and sanctioned beds
Mm-hmm.
for immigrants. I'll just use that
Okay.
phrase.
Okay.
Along the southern border, 70,000. There are 420 DHS funded and sanctioned beds to the tune of $357,000 per bed in the United States of America for
Mm-hmm.
juvenile human trafficking survivors. And that 420 number is a facade. Operationally, there's somewhere between 80 and 120 beds.
Yeah.
That's what actually exists.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's actually being used. There's 17,000 children per month that go missing. So you start doing the math on that.
Yeah.
When I first, because I'm a numbers guy, when I first got these numbers, I was back to that righteous hatred and that
Mm-hmm.
rage. I was like, yeah, and entrepreneurial, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what am I even paying taxes for?
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys doing?
Mm-hmm.
And then so I started looking into like, well, somebody's got to be doing something
Yeah.
about this. Who can I support
Yeah.
that's already doing something about this? And there's a lot of organizations, the bulk of organizations that have a United States-based donor base that run international operations. And in some cases, I'm in support of that.
Mm-hmm.
I directly support um, Floyd and Tamara Stanley, who are international missionaries. Floyd was also the worship leader at my church in North Texas.
Mm-hmm.
He built communities in Uganda and the whole nine.
Yeah.
One day after service, because I was on the worship team, he goes, "Hey guys, anyway, we're moving to Uganda.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Yeah.
Love you.
Yeah.
Later."
Yeah.
They did that for 4 years, and now they're in Southeastern Asia.
Mm-hmm.
He's the director of recovery for Agape International Mission,
Mm-hmm.
working with sex trafficked girls there.
Right.
And he pulled me aside one time. He was here visiting, and he said, "Hey, you need to reassess what A plus looks like." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "A plus for us is a 40% recovery rate. So 4 in 10 of our girls are fully restored
Yeah.
and they leave this life. So, but 6 in 10 go back to it. And so you just need to be aware that what A plus looks like is not 100%.
Yeah.
It's like your numbers may be different, but it's not 100%." And he's like, "And I know you. I know
Yeah.
how you are."
Yeah.
I was legitimately an A plus plus student while also not going to school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there's lots of efforts that are being made in the counter trafficking space that are funded domestically, US dollars, and then that money's brought elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Haiti's another example. Haiti's a shit show. They need
Yeah.
intervention.
Yeah.
But a lot of that money, because once it's generated here and then it goes overseas, the fruits of that investment are oftentimes not realized. And it creates the opportunity for obfuscation as to what these organizations are doing and the impact that they're actually having. And so then when I looked into, okay, cool, what's happening to counteract the atrocities that are occurring against our children here? I couldn't get a good answer. I'm pretty good at getting answers.
Yeah.
You're pretty good at getting answers.
Hmm.
It's like, well, who do I support domestically?
Not much.
There's not much.
Yeah.
There's a couple of good ones out there. I'll give
Hmm.
a shout out to our bros at the Sentinel
Yep. They're
Foundation.
solid.
They're solid, solid individuals. Um, and then we still get into aftercare.
Hmm.
Okay, so we're doing rescues. Where do these children go? Nowhere.
Hmm.
They become property of the state? Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. And so how do we break this cycle? If we think about generational curses biblically, the sins of the father do not pass to the son, but the behaviors of the father do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And so it's because people see behavior that's modeled for them, then they adopt that behavior, then they perpetuate that
Right.
behavior. And so we have to break this pattern of behavior so that we break this generational curse, if you will.
Hmm.
And so these children are having things done to them that they then learn. I cannot betray the gentleman's information, but
Yeah.
suffice to say, I literally had a guy walk into my office one Monday morning, and he was like, I said, "Why are you here?" I said, "Because you're safe." And I didn't understand what that meant at first.
Hmm.
And then, without giving you the details of this gentleman or his whole life story, he had MPD. It, we were able to ascertain because I got on the phone real quick and I was like, "I need backup,
Right. Right.
please, please
Yeah.
send me. I need KH teams." Um, he had MPD, he had DID, and the reason for that was the first time he was offended against was when he was 4 years old, and then he offended against someone else when he was adolescent
Yeah.
because it was a learned behavior.
Hmm.
So guilt and shame on top of guilt and shame. And then he, I won't use the exact words from his confession, but let's
Hmm.
just say he took action against the original offender
Hmm.
that was also somebody that he was related to.
Hmm.
Guilt and shame on top of guilt and shame on top of guilt and
Yeah.
shame. And so I have somebody who's sitting in my office this close to me who has just confessed to sexually assaulting someone
Yeah.
who was also sexually assaulted,
Hmm.
who also committed other crimes,
Right.
and who, when you drill down into who this person is, what level are they operating at? This is a grown man operating at a 4-year-old level
Yeah.
because that's when the trauma first occurred. And so when we look at their rationalization, their decision making, 4-year-olds don't make good decisions.
Hmm.
Makes sense. And so Kaleb House was able to intervene with this individual and get them care. And then also reach out to the other people who were um, abused by
Yeah.
this individual. Um, and so my mindset has always been, and it's part of why we have to fix these kiddos, is are you or are you not above the age of accountability?
Hmm.
And are you intentionally hurting people?
Yeah.
Because if you're intentionally hurting people, you have evil in your heart, and I cannot tolerate that.
Yeah.
Goes back to bullies. As a adolescent, prepubescent young man,
Hmm.
he hurt someone else, and he's confessing this with tears in his eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is different. He's like, have you hurt anybody else since then? Well, no. Well, yes, but not in that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, in what way? Well, now he's telling me a story about the
The other
interaction he
individual.
had with the original offender, and I'm like, this is a different set of charges.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, well, how do we fix this?
Yeah.
What hope can this young gentleman have? It's like, well, let's start the process of recovery here
Hmm.
and get you connected with the appropriate partners that we have organizationally that are going to be able to restore you, because your case, it is a Kaleb House case,
Yeah.
but it's not a long-term housing restoration process
Right.
case. And how many individuals like that exist just here?
Yeah.
How many kids are taken each month, each day here? And the answer is too many. And so that's why when we started doing what we do, it's like it goes back to the gravitas of what we do. This really matters. It has a direct impact on lots of people's lives. And there aren't a lot of options. You call local PD, they're not interested. State police might be interested if they have a task force for it,
Yeah.
which will then elevate to FBI. And if you get a good FBI um, agent that's working out of a good FBI field
Field office. Yeah.
location, yeah, then maybe they'll adopt the case. And if it's crossed state lines, which in many cases they do, it's now FBI
Yeah.
anyway, because of interstate crimes. And then you have DHS over here flapping their gums about this thing, and you got the AG's office over here flapping their gums about this thing. And it's like, we just want to help.
Yeah.
And so there's not a lot of good domestic options for aftercare. We can rescue every child there is.
Yeah.
Where do they go?
Well, so even on that, the idea of biblical justice, and I don't mean that just in terms of the punitive side
Mm-hmm.
for the offender. There's also the restorational side of justice that there's not a good system for.
Yep.
So let's say that FBI agent knocks it out of the park, clean case, bad guy goes away for a long time, if not forever. Okay, well, what about the kid?
Yep.
How are you going to help the kid in
Mm-hmm.
this? The damage is done from that. Yeah, he's away, but this is not. There's no FBI to help kids come up domestically, which is where Kaleb House
Yep.
steps into this. And even on that pattern of behavior, something we've worked through, even outside of this, is okay, that is not normal behavior for someone to do that, but it's normal to them. It's
Yep.
not logical behavior, it's not reasonable behavior, but it's logical and reasonable to them because of where their mindset's at. So that's why that early intervention is so big. And once we have them in our care, we've set up systems to allow a transitional point as well, where it's okay, we want you to feel immediately like you're welcome, you're safe, hospitality, you belong here. Let's turn that amygdala off and
Mm-hmm.
start slowly moving back to that frontal lobe.
Yep.
And at my previous job, we called them Amy and Flo. Who's driving your car right now? Like,
Uh-huh.
let's get Flo back in charge of this thing. So it's just, again, everything we do is messy. None of it's clean. And there's no, you're right, there's no textbook. It's like I can read a definition about
Yep.
a personality disorder, statistics, but it's having the wisdom to act in person. Okay, this guy walks in at the location that you work off. I remember you sharing the story. Well, now it's not, well, let me go reference, let me read a book real fast. I have a chapter on this. Let me come over here.
Yeah.
It's, hey, we're live.
Yep.
And I know a guy or I know a chick who can help on this, but I mean, the timer started.
Yeah.
How are we going to react?
Yeah.
It's no more, well, we need to get caught up on this.
And that again, back to my wonderful wife. She's just looking at me from across the office like,
Yeah.
sorry, babe.
Yeah.
This is
That
what
one's you. Yeah.
this is what Monday looks
Yeah.
like today. Yeah. And to the point, there is no textbook. That's one of the things that procedurally developing and then codifying that institutional knowledge,
Yeah.
because at some point there probably needs to be a textbook, and it will be just as effective as any of these other books that I have.
Yeah.
Because the manual should lead to, if we go back to manuals, the
Yep.
manual should lead to an FTX, field training exercise, to pressure test the concepts in the manual, which the FTX then creates the muscle memory and
Yep.
the story memory of what we did and why it's important, how this worked,
Mm-hmm.
to then operationalize that knowledge. So it's now something that we possess as a skill set.
Right.
It's not just cerebral. And that doesn't exist in the counter trafficking space right now.
Right.
And part of the challenge there is, from an interoperability standpoint, there's no information sharing. There are some collaborative efforts when it comes to running operations, but everything's so compartmentalized because of the risk that's associated with it.
Yeah.
Another thing that people don't realize, and this will actually dovetail into the last question.
Okay.
One of the things that people don't realize is bad guys are smart too. And what do they want? They want access to children, preferably children that have already been trafficked.
Yeah.
And I hate this phrase, but it's true. I would rather ride a horse that's been broken than
Mm-hmm.
break a horse.
Mm-hmm.
It is the same way with these children. If they've been trafficked once, that's actually more appealing to a trafficker than
Yeah.
if they've never been trafficked before at all.
Yeah.
And so these people seek access and placement to children. They also seek to penetrate organizations like ours so
Yeah.
they can get the inner operational workings, identify targets, and then mitigate threats from their end.
Yeah.
So,
Well, even you know what? I'll talk to you about something after this, but there's a technique I want to talk to you about. Yeah. I'm
mhm.
gonna keep my mouth shut on that. Next question.
Yeah,
There's something really interesting I want to bring up to you after this.
yeah, I'm picking up what you're
Okay.
putting down.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Um, so the last question is, what do you wish people knew about Caleb House that they don't know, that maybe is not obvious to people about counter trafficking or what we do specifically or all of that? And if you need a moment, I've got
Yeah.
one.
Well, there's about 5 or 6 different ways I could throw this right now, so it's picking which rabbit hole to fall on this one. One, I think it's I think a common misunderstanding of the type of work that Caleb House is focused on now on the restorational side. The game isn't over as soon as we have them.
Hmm.
That is the game starting.
Yeah, that's
So
kickoff.
yeah, so again, we get access to the child. They're in our control, they're in our care, they're protected by Caleb House. That's day zero.
Hmm.
We may be here for day 1000
Yeah.
in this process, heavily involved. No one's that 40% number. There's a quote by that Spurgeon. I'm gonna mash up and make it fit in this. But he says, if someone's going to go to hell, it's going to be over our bodies clinging to their ankles the
Yep.
whole time. And I want to take that approach with Caleb House. If someone is going to fall back into the system, it's going to be over our bodies clinging to them, begging them.
Hmm.
So I tried to get emotional talking about it, but um, I don't want to have a 40% rate,
Yeah.
right?
Same.
I know you and me are both 100%. We're in the performance business. We're not in the effects business. That's
Yep.
like we perform, we're obedient. God delivers the effects. But I'm going to do everything I can to make this thing a world class program. And it takes time, it takes patience, it takes systems. It's not, hey, you're in a nice home now, and
Yep.
we've gotten you a shower, and I won't get
Yeah.
dramatic, but like you're out of a very nasty, dirty environment, not just spiritually, but oftentimes in the environment they're in. Um, Healing takes a long time, and so that's the first thing I want to say is it's a process. It takes time. Some cases are shorter than others. Some cases I don't want to say perpetual. That's not the goal. But
Yep.
I'm not going to let you go if you're not ready.
Hmm.
That's the first one. Um, Two is in terms of developing a program like this. You mentioned the manual. So if I could throw this out, so I've got 20 things we could do. That's something the advocacy team and I are working on right now. We actually talked about that yesterday in our sit down. Was here's some various manuals and different things. How do we package it together so that we can make these things work for our team?
Hmm.
Um, that's that's the big one. So if I could say the one thing that most people are probably not aware of, the rescue is not the end. That's the start of
Yep.
everything Caleb House does. Um, that's my big one.
What comes to mind for me, because I've seen it with multiple volunteers, and even in some cases, people have come full time inside the organization. There's a misconception that these children that we are rescuing are innocent, and they're innocent in the
Mm,
sense that they're blameless.
yeah.
They're not innocent from the standpoint of behavioral issues. And the reason I bring this up is we have to approach this with an understanding that their innocence has been taken from them
Hmm.
and that it is part of our purview to restore that to the best of our ability. But I've had many people who thought they were going to be interacting with the sweetest, most wonderful little darling children.
Right.
And that's not the case.
Yeah.
That's not factually true. That's what we want to produce as an outcome.
Right.
And it's part of why um, faith and belief is a cornerstone of what we do at Caleb House, right? Because
Yeah.
we've touched on this multiple times. We cannot do what we do without the blessing of the Creator,
Right.
right? And it's, my goal that when they leave us, when they graduate from this program, they know the Father and the Father knows them,
Hmm.
right? And that's by the blood of the Son.
Yeah.
It's the only way to get there. Now, we also cannot force that upon anyone. right? That and in any context,
Yeah.
I can't force belief on anyone. It doesn't count if I have to coerce you into
Yeah.
belief, right? But these are not innocent children. Um, they should be.
Hmm.
That's why we're involved in the first place.
Yeah.
I've had to look at. I've reprimanded two young boys in our care one time. I was like, "What are you doing?" Without getting graphic, put your fucking pants back on.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we're just playing because that's how they know to play.
Yeah.
Because that's what they were indoctrinated as play is.
Hmm.
When they should be reading, they should be playing with Tonka trucks and,
Yeah.
reading that, first grade level books and stuff like that. They should be playing on monkey bars and the swings.
Yeah.
What they've been taught play is requires that nobody here has to have pants on.
Yeah.
But they don't know that that's not how normal kids play.
Right.
Going back to those patterns of behavior and generational curses. And so, and Proverbs 24:12 comes to mind. In fact, I'll read it because it's pertinent to the conversation, assuming I can find the right button on my existential crisis rectangle.
Even while you're working through that, I mean, yesterday building bunk beds in a home with a girl about one of the ages of my kids that I have at my house, same type of colors,
Yep,
pink and all this other stuff. I mean, saw drawings of things that does not belong in
yep,
a pre-10-year-old's mind.
yep,
As I'm sitting, like they went to the store getting some more supplies. And I just sat there looking at it like, that's how my kid writes. That's the color she uses. And that was a drawing of something that she's just getting out of. And I'm thinking, and
yep,
it was under the bed. It just has a paper that flew under there. And I thought,
yeah,
okay,
yep.
this is what we're against.
So Proverbs 24:12. If you say, "See, we did not know this," would not he, Dad, who weighs the hearts discern it? He who watches over your life, would he not know it? And shall he not repay man according to his work? So there is innocence in the sense and mercy and
Mm,
grace. And these kids that think playtime means no pants on,
yeah.
they're not held accountable for that because they're below the age of accountability. And that goes back to intent. Are you intentionally hurting someone?
Yeah.
Because if you are my enemy.
Yeah.
If you know what you are doing is wrong, then you are my enemy. If you are not, if this is a pattern of behavior that was forced upon you and you're now repeating because it's what you know,
Yeah.
not because you've made a choice.
Right.
Now we have to rightly divide that as well.
Yeah.
And so I've seen it so many times. There's a misconception that these are just darling little angels.
Yeah.
They should be. And in some cases, and it's almost psychotic because they are
Hmm.
until they're not.
Yeah.
And it's like, oof, where did that come from? And so that's part of the mind trip of interacting with these individuals. And it's also part of the blessing because children are so incredibly resilient. It's it's almost too heavy at times, the inspiration that it provides to me to see
Hmm.
kids that I know have gone through things that would break the average person.
Yeah.
And they're just like, can we play on the swings?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. How high do you want to go?
Well, so even on that, if you think about the difference between an adult and a child too. So going back to the timeline thing, right?
Yep.
If again, Lord heaven forbid this ever happens, if my wife was abducted, raped, how long would I give her to get over that?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, she's back in my hands. We're good. She's back home. We're good. No,
Yeah.
this is going to be a long time before that is healed, restored, all that. You think about with the child too, and the children are the variable
Yep.
because depending on time, length, distance, severity, all these factors getting thrown in, just their personality, how God made their little brains to tick,
Mm-hmm.
recovery could be very rapid or it could be very long.
Yep.
Um, and as something that happens to you, you bear it until you don't. So yeah, I think that type of mind frame or that type of mindset is how much grace or time or patience or support would an adult need. Okay, well think about
Mm-hmm.
that for a child. That
It's
it
a
goes back to this.
it's a great word. My mind goes to wound care because of my background and what
Yeah.
I do, right?
Yeah.
So
That's a great, yeah.
it's going to scab over first,
Hmm.
and the outside layers are going to heal first. Doesn't mean there isn't still a wound in there,
Yeah.
right? And if there's a danger to healing too quickly, because if it heals too quickly, even though it looks like, yeah, it's just a scar now,
Yeah.
but when you press on it, it hurts,
Hmm.
right? And that's something we need to remember with people is that just because there's a scar there doesn't mean it's done healing.
Right.
And if you press on it, it's going to hurt. And if you press on it too often or too hard,
Yeah.
people are going to react to that because it's painful,
Yeah.
right? And so these are not physical wounds, they're spiritual and psychological wounds that need to be healed. And that takes time.
Yeah.
And some people just heal quicker than others, but we don't ever want to heal too quickly
Yeah.
because then the healing is superficial.
Yeah.
It looks good on the outside.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's all scabbed up, scarred up, you're good
Yeah.
to go. But it's not. There's still a hole in there.
But that goes back to the holistic approach that Kaleb House is getting to. It's not just we're providing for your base level needs. You're warm, you're dry, full belly, and you're hydrated. Great.
Yep.
Okay. Well, what about preparations for moving on to the next phase? Education, programming, self confidence, coming out of this thing, spiritual care,
Mm-hmm.
vocational care, right? Getting these people to be self sustaining. It's complicated. Recreational. I mean, we can't
Yep.
just have people in a home and say, well, you can't leave.
Yep. Yep.
Sorry, this is forever home for you. It's no, okay. How do we get you back into life? And what does normal actually look like for a person who's not had to endure this?
Yeah.
Reteaching what normal looks like, where um, again, just different personalities, different severity we're pulling out of. That's going to look different person to person.
And some of these people have never known normal.
Yeah.
Normal scares them.
Yeah.
Because it's unfamiliar.
Yeah.
And it's like, actually, this is what normal people do.
Yeah.
Do you want a slice of pizza? Like,
Yeah.
this is normal.
Yeah. And you don't have to give it back to me. You don't have to make anything else.
Yeah.
It really is reshifting to what a healthy relationship looks like, which is relationship education. We've talked about this a little bit. That's going to be a big part of the program we develop is how to ensure that what was normal to you stops with you and you
Yep.
can create a healthy, enduring, peaceful, harmonious relationship with other people.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Appreciate you, brother.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. KalebHouse.org. Reach out. And I say this, and I always say this. Please do not donate to the mission unless you are convicted by the Spirit of the Most High, because I don't ever want to be in union with somebody that we have an ideological misalignment. I know that every dime that we have comes from the Father, and I know that every dime that we have right place, right time for the right reasons.
Yeah.
But if you want to get involved, if you want to learn more, KalebHouse.org, simple as that. It's Kaleb with a K.
Yep.
Kaleb with a K, KalebHouse.org.
Not Caleb's house.
And it's not Caleb's house either.
Kaleb
That's correct.
House.
Singular.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you'll be seeing more of Adam around. Let me know in your comments down below, follow on questions that you have, types of content that you'd like to see, more stories that you want to hear. And then also, please do me a favor on this. Algorithmically, this is not going to do well. So the only way that this message gets out there is when you share it. So please share this to your church family, share it with your pastors, share it with your friends, your family, your coworkers. This is a plague on us as a nation and as a people here on this earth. And we are doing what we can to fix it to the best of our ability as led by the Most High. And it's an honor that I get to work with folks like you. I thank you for coming on camera, showing your face. I understand the calculated risk deeply, but I think it's good for the audience to A, see you, and then B, hear some of these intricacies of what we do, because it's easy to, Dunning-Kruger effect. Oh,
Yeah.
trafficking bad, check, got it.
Yeah.
Man, there's so much more. And I also want to see the people that support us. I want them to be able to see and hear, 50 cases this year.
Yeah.
The year's not over.
Yeah.
50, 50, not one or two.
Well, and that was as of late September. I'll get another number count at the end of this month. So we're already up a few cases that I've handled. So
yeah. So it's, at least one a week. So we talk about op tempo. It's at least one a week. So bless you again, brother.
Again, thank you.
you.
No, thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll see y'all when we see you.